is live, so you can vote for the idea and solution that you personally like. And who knows, there's probably a gift for that team as well. So please pay attention and take notes of their presentation as well. All right, so coming up next for their own presentation is the team all the way from University of Lagos. Please, let's make welcome Team Health-ish. Are you ready? All right, so we'll move on swiftly to the next team on today's agenda while they prepare their demo. Very important reminder, every team has 5 minutes for their presentation and then 5 minutes for a Q&A from the judges, right? Do the judges have questions for the first team? I didn't get to ask. You have questions? Okay. So before we move on to Team Health-ish, I think this should give you some time to gather your teammates. The judges have questions for Team Varsity Edge, so please listen and respond.
Thank you. Hi guys. Very well done. I think that your use of stories to start your presentation was very good. Well done with that. So I have 2 questions for you. What I can deduce from what you said, there are 2 problems you're trying to solve primarily. Preparation and lack of information, right? I think I heard you say people don't know what combination of grades they need to get, whatever. So, and then I noticed you mentioned use of USSD. I find that interesting, like how is that supposed to work? What's the USSD aspect of your product? And then the information that you want to give students, I assume that you're catering to students all around Nigeria, yes? So how do you get the information that you give to the students since it is personalized per student? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for the question. So we are currently building an AI advisor, so which is we integrated with OpenAI API. So, and then from the information that we've gotten all across university websites plus Jam-Bronchio, so we are feeding this algorithm and model, this data. So from there, the algorithm has our own data. So we would update the data as well. Okay. Of these universities and Jam-Bronchio. Yes, sir. Okay, the USSD part is that we are partnering with NCC and then other telecommunications company so that we can have a code, something like maybe star 347, that the student can die and can say, oh, I want to check admission requirements. Then via this algorithm, we connect it to an API. So there is, yeah, to show them this. So as soon as they die code and they request for, oh, I want to study MBBS at the University of Lagos, what are the requirements? So the algorithm brings it up through our partners to them. So anybody from anywhere can access it in Nigeria. Yes,
A round of applause for Team Varsity Edge. You can take your seats now. All right, Team Health-ish, are you ready? All right, no problem. I'll move on to the next team as well. But before I do that, the Viewers' Choice Award link is live. So go to bit.ly/SwitchCon VCA. bit.ly/SwitchCon VCA. That's the link to put in your favorite team, your favorite solution, because there's actually an award category for the Viewers' Choice. So even if the judge doesn't pick them, you viewers, you have the power to choose your winner. Please, can we give it up for the SwitchCon team for that innovation? I love it so much. All right, so team Keep Clean, are you ready for us? All right, so please come forward. Please, a round of applause for team Keep Clean from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. They came all the way from the north, and they look so cool. Please, a round of applause for them now. Remember that we had a deal, that we're going to celebrate them very well. All right, so you have 5 minutes to make your presentation. The judges have 5 minutes to ask you questions, and you have to answer in that time. So altogether, you have 10 minutes, but 5 minutes for your presentation. And she is your timer, so if she raises her hand, you can come forward so that they can see you. She's your timekeeper, so when she raises her hand, you know that you have 1 minute left, and this is the sign for time up.
Do you realize how much money you've left lying around in your homes and in your offices? Well, in this presentation, I'm going to show you how we've used tech solutions to solve, to change waste to wealth. And also, I'm just going to move to the problem. I'm going to share a story of Aminu, a student of 300 level, who dropped out of school because he couldn't pay school fees and couldn't raise funds. But he was introduced into the waste management business, where he collects PET bottles from universities, hostels, event centers, and he changed our sales.
Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. We will take a business profit model. Sorry. We will take 10% commission based on the sales made from pick-up and delivery commissions and marketplace commissions, payment handling fees, and membership fee for waste vendors. Next slide. So,
our competitive advantage. We stand out from our dear competitors because we are able to provide an open marketplace where users can sell and connect with buyers. Okay. Unlike our competitors who limit only to buying for themselves privately. Next slide. Our partnership, we have an open window for partnering, and to have more access with resources, who is partnering, like haulage companies and truck service business for local and international waste management.
Next slide. Currently now, we have established a connection with the pulp industries, Nokako, Scrap Processing and International Recycling Limited, Cider Dinner, which is the biggest event center, and the Green Waste Environmental Remedies. These are the ones we regarded as adopters. Next slide. This is our team. These are financials. We are looking and asking for 12-month financing of 22 million naira in order to achieve a sensitive market adoption and to able to reach 30,000 transactions over these 18 months. We are promising a revenue of 75 million naira that will be generated through the markets commissions and the services fee. Next slide. Use of funds. This fund, 50% of these funds will go into marketing in order to achieve a sensitive market adoption. Next slide. These are our investors' benefits through shares and equities and dividends of the profit made by the company. Next slide. And this is the biggest news. We are positively impacting towards 5 of the SDG goals: SDG 1, SDG 9, SDG 12, SDG 14, and 15.
Please, can we make that applause louder? All right, please hold on to this side of the hall. The judges have questions for you.
Hey guys, well done. I have 2 questions, and if you can just explain it as quickly as possible. Can you explain to all of us what your ideal customer looks like? Because I couldn't tell whether this was B2B, B2C. How do you connect people? So you can tell in if you can describe it in like a storytelling way. Like, what does your ideal user look like? And then the second thing is, so when you explain, and then the second thing as well is what is the value prop to the people that you want to partner with? Because you mentioned partnership as your way to scale. Like, what does the value proposition to them look like?
Thank you so much. So before they respond, please, I would like to ask that we maintain decorum in the hall. I know you guys are making your own judging. You're judging your own way with your viewers' choice awards and all of that. But please, let's not distract the teams. They are presenting. We need to make sure that this hall is very quiet so that they can process the information. The teams, all the guests, please. Thank you very much.
We are offering a marketplace-based solution, digital marketplace-based solution that connects sellers of and buyers of this recyclable waste. Largely connects everyone, both buyers and sellers. It connects everyone. Our target audience are schools, our households.
So a buyer comes who is in need. Example of this is pop industries. Any industry will recycle plastic waste, come to the site and then order for your plastic. So anybody's a potential. So you can have PET bottles in your house and then count them. If they're up to 56, that's 1 kg. Then you put them on the site.
How you verify what I have is by picture that I upload?
No, you just upload any picture. We have agents around.
So you also do physical verifications?
Yes, because we are going to pack them and try and
so
send them to...
it's you who does the collection, not
yes.
the...
Yeah, no. We do the collection and
so
then
the early adopters you have, are they people you are doing business with already or you intend to?
We've started doing the business in Zaria. That's why I mentioned pop industry. Pop industry is an industry in Zaria. One of...
So you supply them with waste now?
Yes, they convert PET bottles to shoe polish.
Okay. So you have customers. Do you have customers today?
Yes, we have customers. PET bottle, yes.
Aside the partnering companies, you have everyday people that use your app already?
We are just expanding.
How many? What do you think your customer base is like right now?
Currently, we have about 6 students.
Okay.
Pop industry, they are students. In ABUS, they are students, and they use plastic waste.
How about people that supply pop? Are there people who supply pop or you do it yourselves?
No, pop is different. They supply to military schools, soldiers who need shoe polish. That's not our business.
So I think this is part of the clarification that she was asking for. So do you have customers today that use your app right now?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, not yet.
Okay. But you have people who want to use your app?
Yes,
okay.
we have.
So you just have people that have signified interest?
Yes. Okay. That's the comments on the
Because you had like 6 of them?
Yes.
Do you have anything in writing or we've engaged them and they've given us their word that they would want to work with us?
It's on the slide. But it just
no, I'm saying, do you have an agreement with them?
Yes, we have an agreement, yes.
With all these companies?
Yes.
Documented?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, our judges. Thank you, team. Keep clean. A round of applause for them as they head over to their seats. I promise you, it's not an easy job to be on this stage preparing. That's even one aspect of what they've done so far. They've had to think through these solutions. They've had to find problems, think through the solutions, and be able to present it to us today. So please, another round of applause for our battlefield teams. All right. So I'm going to be moving very swiftly to the next team. And I quickly want to emphasize that team decorum in the hall, please, as the teams are giving their presentations. And if we're making our side comments, let's make sure that it doesn't distract the teams from their presentation so the judges can hear joy value from these presentations. Is that a deal? Yes, thank you very much. All right, so moving swiftly, I'm going to call on Team Alpha I. Okay, all right, so Team Alpha I is still preparing for us, so I'm going to go back to call Team Health-ish. They're ready for us now. They are coming all the way from University of Lagos. Please, let's make some noise for Team Health-ish. Team Health-ish, please come forward. They have 5 minutes to make their presentations. The judges have 5 minutes to ask them questions as well. And their time starts when they start speaking. Please look out for her signal when you have 1 minute left. Her in black. Yes, so your time starts when you start speaking. Good luck.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jesus, and I'm the team lead for Team Healthish. So basically, as the slide says, it said, what kind of light will Healthish shine? So that means what it says is that, okay, what is Healthish trying to do better, right? What is Healthish trying to do differently? Can you go to the next slide, please? Next slide, next slide. Okay, so basically, before we talk about what we are trying to do differently, we need to talk about what the problem is. So now, if you check here, you see that we have a question mark, and we have different actors in the health system. We have the insurance organizations, the pharma. Problems in simple terms is that, okay, there's a disconnection between the actors in the health organization who is making our healthcare system not efficient as possible, right? Can you go to the next slide, please? So what solution are we bringing? So we called our solution the neurals and neurons. That means this is Healthish in the middle, and it is like the connecting body to all other things, connecting the organizations to the courses, to the research organizations, to the non-profits, the hospitals, the consultants. So I'm sure that everyone here will agree with me that all of these are important actors, right? So let me give you a scenario. I went to an hospital, right? And I want to take medications. Then they tell me that, okay, let's assume I have like maybe convulsion or something. They're like, okay, if somebody is not here to pay for you at now, we cannot go on. Even though if you go to the hospital, they will tell you, which is all lies. They will say, life first. But hospitals now, they will have to ask you for money first. If you don't have money, they will just dump you by the side. So what if the hospital can have access to your record? You have your finances in Healthish, you have your health records, you have your insurance record. They will have to know that, okay, let's continue with this. We can continue with this because we know that this person has this particular insurance that will cater for it later, right? And we can have consultants, we can have therapists that will talk to patients that have mental issues and all of that. So can we go to the next slide, please? So now, what's our goal? Our goal with Healthish is that we want to get 300 health services to the platform. Because what Healthish is that it's connecting hospitals together. That is the major thing. We are connecting hospitals together. So it is this collision between these hospitals that will create a safe healthcare system for us, which any user, whether any patient, whether you are in Evercare or you are in anywhere, you'll be able to access healthcare, and each hospital will be able to access your record irrespective of what hospital you are. So our objective is that we are trying to build an infrastructure that demystifies health problems and creates solutions from data. So now you went to this hospital, they gave you a record. So now you want to go to the next hospital next time, they have to know that, okay, these are the kind of things you've taken, so that they'll be able to like think and know that, okay, this is the best healthcare solution we can give you. So that, and I think if you all will agree with me, you think that is better than what we currently have. So, and we, as I said earlier, Healthish is not an everybody solution, right? It's a solution that targets a particular set of people that have access to digital access and wants to like do well with their health life, right? So we believe that Lagos is the best place for us now. That is why so now we are planning to stay in Lagos, but our objective is for us to expand to Lagos with products that fit in. So another core value we have is that we are building products according to the geographic place. That means a product that fits to a place. For example, if you want to build a solution for them in Akwa Ibom now, we are building a solution whereby you can speak to the doctor, you can speak in the native language. So we'll be using, as the ML guy said earlier, we'll be using the Google Translation API to translate the speech, not even the text. Maybe I'm speaking my Yoruba language now, to translate it into English, and the doctor will be able to get it, so that the local people will be able to like speak with other people. Please, can you go to the next slide? Next slide, next slide. Next slide, next slide. Okay, so our core product is the health pay, which enables all the payments, the insurances, the payments, everything enables it. The Hish is the record. As I said earlier, every hospital we have record to each user. Each user will have a health card that they can use. There will be a terminal too for each hospital, which they can use to like verify a user and verify their record and all of that. Then there will be the map. That means a user now can get access to record. Can you go to the video before I finish speaking? So a user can have access to user can have access to like the map where they'll be able to get riders when they have like emergencies in their home. They'll be able to get riders and all of that. So I want you to see what our application look like. Please, can you play and go? So this is me. Here I have 7 share courses, 1 physical visit, 10 orders, 3 health reports. These are my classes attended. That means I'm learning. Each hospital can create classes for their users, and I can learn my map usage. Can you come here? Probably I went to Shomolu here. I went to Ichive here, a lot of things. Can you go down? That's all.
Another round of applause for them. This is a physical representation of I work best under pressure. I can work under pressure. Well done, guys. So the judges are still, do you have questions? Okay.
Hey, thank you for the presentation. You have a very interesting name. My main question is, right, so the issue that a lot of people face, like active startups now in Nigeria, worldwide, with these kind of services, is that you have to have all of these people in the ecosystem, as you pointed out, on board. If not, the value is not really there, right? Or you end up just being everyone else. So what's the hook for 10,000 people to sign up on your thing, irregardless of these other people in the ecosystem, whether it's the hospitals, the healthcare, the insurance people, the knowledge base? Like, what is the first hook to sign up before they can then get those other people? And then vice versa, what is the hook for those other people to then sign up? Because again, it can't just be, oh, I have these users, because they have their users. So what is the hook for the user and then for the rest of the players that would then onboard?
Okay, so basically, as I said earlier, how it works is that Healthish, basically, we interact with the hospitals. Because, an hospital, let's take Evercare, for example. Evercare, they have their customer base already. You get what I'm saying? Let's assume somebody from Evercare now wants to come to Agdolad, to come and do this. We have access to Agdolad. That means we have access to a lot of hospitals. That I said 300 hospitals. So we are connecting those hospitals.
Wait,
so
because access is healthcare is a very regulated and very data privacy sector. So how are you going to sell an Evercare, first of all, to use you?
Okay, so basically what we are trying to tell Evercare to use us is the first value we are giving to Evercare.
Not even use, but I guess the word more is, how are you going to convince them to give you access to all their thousands of customers' records?
Okay, basically, to convince them, it's a value-to-value thing. We are giving them value, they are giving us value. So basically,
You don't have any value Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, I'm talking
Right?
about
Like,
I'm
I'm
talking
just
about
saying,
like future.
you're talking future, but I'm
Yes,
saying,
yes.
like, I want you to think now. Don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Your business will grow, great idea. But right now, how are you going to convince an Evercare to onboard with you and share that data? But if you're not sure about that, then answer the second one, as I said, because I think that's the more interesting side, which is how do you then get an average, all of us here, let's say there's like 100 of us, why would we come on to Healthish? How would we get on there? Why would we get on there?
Okay, so as I said, we have to convince your hospital. I personally, I have the hospital that I use. You have the hospital that you use. So in as much as we can convince that hospital, I believe that you have trust in your hospital, right? So that, okay, my hospital tell me that let me use this platform. It's just like Google. There's Google Classroom, right? So you as a company, you have Google Classroom that, okay, for your workers, you can onboard your workers from your own end. That is not like a major deal. You can keep your data, you can onboard your workers. But in as much as you have created an account with Google, you are trying to give access to other users. When they want to check classrooms, they can check and all of that. I don't know if you get my answer or something.
I get
So
your
it's a
answer.
B2B.
I think you haven't thought through, which is essentially what is the value and what is the hook to the people. I can try and help you like conceptualize it real quick. Is that you have to think about why would I as Evercare share my information with people? It has to be that you are offering ultimately some sort of ease, or you're offering some sort of knowledge that, like, I as a patient at Evercare, I'm not getting from Evercare. Like, that's the only reason why I would go there, right? So if and I'm saying this because this is already what is happening. You already have all these health tech that are working with them. Let's say like the add-on for like a Govo Health is that they're offering mental health, and Evercare, that's not their core focus, and so they are able to partner with Evercare to provide that. So that's already a partnership that is there. So again, why would I as a patient then still come to Healthish when I know that I can already just go to Evercare? I will get physical scans, I can get like information, and I can also get mental health. So those are just the things that you should think through.
Okay, can I say something on that or something? Okay, let me.
So she said very, very important point, and no need to belabor it. Like she said as well, health is very, very regulated. It is one of the most precious. There are not a lot of health tech companies for a reason, But this is not to say to not do it. It's an amazing aspect of our country and our continent that needs help. You can probably consider stuff like a blockchain database, for example, for consistency of records, because it's like, how do you know that someone doesn't hack into that DB and change the records of a patient and claim that they are this or they are that? Also, I think that you should also put into consideration that even if people give symptoms or give any kind of challenges that they have, they would always still need to do a physical examination when they go to a medical facility. So like she mentioned, what you're probably selling is ease, but the proposition needs to be stronger, because they would always still get checked in person. I need to check my vitals. I need to check my blood pressure, my weight before I see the doctor. You can't do that virtually and trust the...
Yeah. Hi. Health is a very sensitive topic. I'm sorry that I have to be on the spot like this, but it is of great value. It's also very challenging. I think that a very good use case and a very good target market will be those of us that are jackpying. You live in Nigeria to the UK, you're changing your medical providers, you need to be able to export your medical records in some way. So that's where the blockchain thing comes in. Now, the UK, they take it more serious than us. So they will check for things like, they try to curb like drug abuse and all these things, make sure that you don't change your prescriptions, because you can't go to a pharmacy randomly and buy medication. So this will be very important in that environment. So I feel like something you should, it's not a question, just think about it, is how will you make sure that only verified doctors can edit or make changes to this data and access it. Actually, the users should not be able to read the doctor's reports. Should they? No, they shouldn't be able to read doctor's reports. You just, maybe, I don't know, a QR code or some kind of badge, and then they go to the hospital, and the hospital scans it and make an edit, and then, yeah. But like, it's very interesting things you have. You just need to like think about the details and all of that. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Health Ish. A round of applause for them. You can drop it. Thank you very much. I want to emphasize something very important, and it's something that we have noticed here. And I want to say this because I want the teams to not to be discouraged with the feedback that they are giving, right? So the interesting thing about ideas is that they are never fully formed. They always have to be refined, edited to suit the goal that you want, right? So I want you to understand that as much as this is a competition, the judges are on your side, and they are not trying to pinpoint. They're just trying to pinpoint what your value essentially is and what kind of solution you are bringing to that problem that you have stated. So I want you to take this feedback very seriously. I was having a conversation with Temidayo earlier, and we spoke about, even in his keynote speech, he spoke about how Amazon is Amazon because they are customer centric. And the best place to get your feedback, just like Alison also said, is from the customers, the people that are potential users of that platform. So as the Battlefield teams, think about it. These things can come, like anything is possible, literally, from these ideas that you've brought. You've brought them in this seed form, but they can definitely be better. So take this as feedback to iterate and to adjust your ideas. So please, another round of applause for the three teams that... All right, so Team Blue Room Care, are you ready? You're ready for us? Please, a round of applause for Team Blue Room Care. They're coming all the way from FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure. Please, a round of applause. Let's keep the applause. All right, his time starts when he starts speaking.
Three years ago, my sister was rushed to the mental health facility, and she was also diagnosed with bipolar disorder. We always knew that something was wrong with Chizoba, but we didn't fully have the words to articulate the problem. Chizoba has been suffering alone in silence. There are three problems that we're solving. Number one, therapy is, next slide. Therapy is very expensive. You pay between 50K to 100K to access a full treatment course. Number two, it's filled with stigma and shame, despite it being 2023. The third one, it's inaccessible, rather. How long do it take to see a therapist, and how long do you even have a treatment? This is the problem we're solving. With the help of machine learning and data science, we brought therapy to a messaging platform. So you buy a currency of a month, a quarter, or a week to have unlimited access to a therapist. So if you're here and you think I'm boring, you can just take your therapist right now, yeah? And we are also presented with a $6.5 billion opportunity. That's really huge. And we're targeting only 10% in our sum, yeah? And in the next 5 years, we aim to reach 5 billion people. Next slide. We leverage on a B2B business model. That means, healthcare is very, very fragmented, yeah? And that's why we partner with insurance companies like AXA Massad, Reliant, your regular startups, Paystack, Cassava, for instance. We partner with them so that you don't have to pay out of pocket for healthcare, because the biggest resistance to paying for healthcare is out of pocket. So that's why we rely. So you don't have to pay for therapy. Just come on Blue Room Care and just provide your insurance number. We provide individual therapy from anxiety to depression, PTSD, substance abuse, therapy on parenting issues, marital conflicts, divorce, the whole issue in Nigeria right now, even it's therapy, yeah? Next slide. And because we are building an end-to-end platform, we're not just stopping in therapy, so we also want to expand to medication, want to expand to diabetes, chronic care management. We're doing a platform whereby it's a single solution for all your healthcare needs. It's a virtual first store solution for all your healthcare needs. But I'll start with therapy because it's a very, very difficult solution. Next slide. We generated over $24,000 in revenue. We are growing 504% month on month. We partnered with over five insurance companies, and we are aiming to reach 10 by the end of Q4 next year. Next slide. Our B2C model means that you can access therapy via messaging, via your corpus plan, scenes therapy, and also video plans. Next slide. So this is just a snapshot of our business model. EAP, for instance, we partner with companies to provide mental health as a benefit. Behavioral health companies like your insurance, and also D2E, that's direct to enterprise. Next slide. This is our company advantage. Our advantage is that we're able to leverage on data because we work with a lot of text messages. We're able to leverage on data. So if someone is suicidal right now, we're able to go through the history of text messages as, okay, I want to harm myself. We're able to detect that message and flag it. So in 3-4 hours, our team of experts reaches out to that person immediately. So we need to leverage on the scope of our data plus the number of therapists that would be equal to the quality of therapy that they receive. That's our competitive advantage. And we also use a lot of NLPs. Next slide. We're raising $100K at a $1 million valuation. We've already have 25,000 in commitment. Next slide. Right. So these are our team. We have a proven track record. Our advisor was just recently appointed. She worked in Meta. We have Udra from Teladoc. My co-founder is a therapist. I also have a background in the marketing, and that's our CTO, data protection officer, and front end. Thank you so much.
He didn't even use up to his time. I love it. All right, judges are contemplating, so I'm going to give them a few more seconds to think, but you have a question. All right.
You did it? Sorry, this is really good. So you've made 25K in revenue since May 2022. My first question is, how does your revenue model work? And then the second thing is, I'm curious, which of the services is the biggest one? Because usually, when I see mental health startups pitch, this is usually more, as you said, more on the side of just regular, I don't want to say the word regular, but normal therapy. But you've mentioned very interesting ones, right? Things around couples therapy. The wedding industry is huge in this country and this part of the world. That's actually something that could be digitized, right? Or when you do get married, how do you bring that into this culture? So yeah, those are my two questions. And then I think the last one that I'm curious about as well. So just make sure you had. So the first one was, how do you, what's your revenue model? And then second one is how, which of these services is the most popular, and why, any sort of insight you can add. And then the last thing I'm thinking is also, how are you, how are you thinking about scaling this, given that all the models that I've seen for mental health is always B2B, as opposed to B2C, even though you put B2C. It's usually, as you said, is people going to employers like a Mono or the big companies and saying, this is a service that I'm offering you, maybe as a side thing, or through healthcare insurance providers that are offering this. How are you thinking of scaling beyond those two things?
Right, so the question is, what's our business model? So we use a B2B2C business model. As you rightly said, we are more of the B2B side because they have a longer customer lifetime value, and also they don't usually churn, right? We're also able to predict revenue, not unlike B2C where they usually churn, and yeah. So we, like I said, we partner with HMOs most importantly. HMOs has over, for instance, AXA Massad has over 5 million people. So that gives access to 5 million members without us spending money on ads. So that also reduces our cost of acquisition. And it also really makes us efficient, yeah? Okay. Right. It's our scale of data. So like I said, we use NLP. So we use NLP to detect if someone's suicidal. We also use what we call coaching. You don't have have to schedule this. You know, life can happen at 3 a.m. You don't have to, like, Akoma, and you have to book a session, which takes 2 to 3 days. So for us, when you join Blue Room Care, you get matched with the coach instantly, and they are always live 247. And after that, they now detect, okay, do you need a therapy? Because most people that come to Blue Room Care, they present subclinical problems that they don't require therapy. And that's why we are more of preventive healthcare than reactive healthcare. So they come, we give them coaching. Okay, you are trying to see a therapist. So then we refer them to our in-network of therapists and psychiatrists if needed, compared to others who always therapy, but also are more of the preventive side. Yeah.
Thank you. Very solid. 400 plus customers B2C and 5, yeah, and that's solid. Solid. I just have one question. So you mentioned that if someone was suicidal, you read from their text. Do you mean like actual text messaging? Or how do you get that data? Or where do you get that data from? And if it's like text messaging, do they know that they are giving you that access to their personal data?
All right, just a caveat. This is still a work in progress. So what we did was that we're able to, because we have, our platform is more of like a conversation like platform. So they do like send a lot of messages, and for people who have been suicidal, we are able to see like patterns. Okay, I want to hurt myself, or this, and this is able to detect that, okay, this person, you need to check this text message. Okay. It's in-app. Yeah, all right.
All right, a round of applause for Team Blue Room Care. Very exciting solutions we are hearing this afternoon. Very exciting. Just like I promised, you really will be reignited. Your passion for technology and solutions will definitely be ignited here at SwitchCon 2023. So we're going to take a quick break away from the Battlefield Challenge, and we're going to head really quickly to the second panel session for today, so we can have time to process all that we have heard, and for the final teams to prepare their presentations, and for the judges to collate their thoughts as well. So while that is happening, I would like to call back the delectable and the pleasant and elegant, our panel moderator, Chide Isaac, as she takes us through the second conversation, which is titled From Idea to Launch, Navigating the Early Stages of Building a Startup. I think this session is very important for our teams especially, because you are literally at that idea stage. So how are you going to navigate the process to launch? This panel conversation would answer that. So please, with a warm applause, let's make welcome our panel moderator, Chide Isaac. And she will invite the other panelists as well.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Are you having a great time? Now, thank you to this black guy on the right. Are you having a great time? Amazing. So we're about to have another panel session. The last panel session was very informative, yes? Awesome. So now I'm going to quickly get our panelists up here. As you know already, we have the best guys in their field here for you today. So as we go on with the panel session, I want you to begin to put your questions together so that by the time we are asking questions, or we open the floor for questions, you give us your questions quickly so that they can as well answer quickly. Getting right into it, the first panelist we have up this afternoon is Sade Onobowale. Sade is the program lead at Google for Startups Africa, where she supports the team in developing and implementing programs that help African startups scale and solve problems in their communities. She has an operations and product management background and has helped startups in Nigeria, such as Fluna and Altara Credit, to build solid operations and products to meet and exceed customer needs. Sade is a graduate of the University College London and the London School of Economics and Political Science. She is passionate about using technology to solve social problems and is a strong advocate for diversity and inclusion in the tech industry. In her spare time, Sade enjoys reading, writing, and spending time with her family. She also runs a book club for fostering reading culture with young people and writes commentary about the African tech ecosystem on her Substack. Please join me as we welcome Sade Onobawale. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, while we're in the green room, Sade was reading a book, like a real-life hardcover book. And I was like, okay. But when I remembered, oh, her bio says she runs a book club, I was no longer surprised. Thank you so much for joining us. Please have your seat. Next, we have Emmanuel Abadi. Emmanuel Abadi is a seasoned fintech professional with an impressive track record of 6 years in the industry, evolving from a product manager to a senior strategic partnerships manager with MoneyPoint. He has a background in computer science from Covenant University, where he started his journey building products. He has always been about exploring the potentials of technology in solving problems, showcasing his entrepreneurial spirit and creativity. During the course of his career, he has contributed towards developing a range of products and services, including digital banking solutions, a payment processing infrastructure, payment gateway, the largest agency banking business in Africa, and a full-service business bank. His focus has remained contributing his skills towards innovative and user-friendly fintech solutions to address various real-world challenges, improve financial inclusion, and to leverage the power of technology to enrich lives in Nigerian and African markets. He has a passion for nurturing and empowering early starters and young minds, hence why we brought him here today. And he's dedicated to sharing his wealth of knowledge and experience with aspiring entrepreneurs, in university undergraduates and youths, helping them to gain a competitive edge to accelerate their growth. In summary, Emmanuel Abadi is a fintech luminary with a strong academic foundation, extensive practical experience, and a genuine commitment to empowering the next generation of innovators. Once again, please give a resounding round of applause to Emmanuel Abadi. Next, we have Chukwuebuka Agulue. Chukwuebuka is an investment professional with 4+ years of hands-on experience in investment research, management in emerging markets. He currently works at Value Alliance Asset Management Limited, where he's responsible for portfolio management, appraising equity and fixed income investment opportunities, as well as conducting macroeconomic research. Prior to this, he worked at Meristem Securities Limited, where he was senior equity research analyst, covering the conglomerates, agriculture, and FMCG sectors. He holds a BSc in microbiology from the University of Benin and a diploma in financial management from the International Business Management Institute. He is FMVA certified and has a certificate in advanced corporate credit analysis from Augusto. He has made several media appearances on CNBC West Africa. Please join me as we welcome Chukwuebuka Agulue. One thing I want to quickly point out in his CV, you see how he's a very experienced finance guy. What did he study in school? Yeah, let that be instructive for somebody here today. Next, we have Obafemi Okubanjo. Obafemi Okubanjo is the general manager at Walura Capital, a technology resource company based in Lagos, Nigeria. He's responsible for managing the affairs and expansion of the company in areas of product development, tech training, tech talent outsourcing, and media services. Prior to taking this role in 2022, he had experience in brand building, marketing, and business development with a combined multi-sectorial experience of 15 years within the finance, media, executive training, and edutech industries. He's a believer in the power of technology to accelerate progress and development in any human endeavor. His quest for tech knowledge and experience led him into digital marketing and graphics design to kickstart his career in tech in 2020. I just said he had about 15 years experience prior, and then he kickstarted his career in tech in 2020. So you're not just meeting somebody with a lot of experience, but someone who is able to turn around and do something new whenever. Other than that, he has successfully developed and executed marketing campaigns, built strategic partnerships with key industry players and government agencies, designed promotional campaigns, and social media strategies for new initiatives. Obafemi Okubanjo is a graduate of Business Administration and Management. He has attended several professional development and leadership programs with both local and foreign institutions. Once again, join me with a big round of applause and welcome Obafemi Okubanjo. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Last but not least on this panel of 4 men and 1 woman is Oreoluwa Shonibare. Oreoluwa Shonibare is a value-driven entrepreneur with an eye for gaps in markets and industries. He's the CEO and co-founder of We Create, a startup that enables high-growth startups across Africa to order merch for their employees, customers, campaigns, and events. From onboarding employees to elaborate marketing campaigns, they are your perfect merch partner to achieve your ambitious marketing goals. He holds a strong belief that Nigerian youths will play a big part in the development of the country. He holds a degree in mass communications, specializing in advertising and public relations from Bowen University. Please join me in welcoming Oreoluwa Shonibare. We have a very robust panel. Do you agree? Feel being the only other woman on this panel. Later.
Very normal.
I can imagine being in the tech space. This should truly be normal for you. You know what we'll do? In order to save time, I'll just go right ahead and I'll ask Shade the first question since she's closest to me, so the mic doesn't have to travel so far. Now, your CV, or rather your profile, is very, very interesting. I personally found it interesting. Now, in your work as programs lead at Google for Startups Africa, you get to interact with several actors and stakeholders within the startup space. What will you say are the biggest challenges that the tech startups face in the early stages, and what are some of the creative ways you've seen them overcome these challenges?
Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I think the biggest ones at very early stage, and I'm also trying to think of the people who are doing the competition here to make it even earlier, is one is finding traction. I didn't hear enough traction from any of the people there. Not that it needed to be anything huge, but getting that first traction is always a huge problem. And depending on the type of company you are, whether it's B2B or B2C, is thinking of creative, like if it's B2C, people tend to think of it in the bucket of how do I market this, how do I reach as many people as possible. And then if it's B2B, is thinking how do I go up to a corporation and help them see value or provide value to them in order for us to partner and scale using their own wider reach. So I'll say that's the first one. The second thing is around hiring. So hiring / finding talent, like finding the right mix of people when you are very early stage. So again, considering, I'm thinking of the people in this room, the teams in this room, is thinking through how do you, like what's like the perfect mix of people that you need first of all? Is it that you need someone technical, someone who has like a businessy, financy background, that sort of thing? Like the right combination at the start is always a tricky thing for people. And that will always vary based again on the type of product you are building. If it is maybe something like a fintech, you probably end up needing definitely a lot more technical developers to build the product that you're going to sell, versus maybe if your product is more service leaning, then you are able to get away with providing the service and building the product along the way or after. And I think the third biggest thing that people struggle with at the moment, so I'm not going to say funding because I think that's just a general known, everybody will struggle with funding, but the third thing I would also say is around defining what the problem is. So again, you come in with an idea, as we have with the teams here, and you get the team together, and then you start going out to market your product or sell this product or solve a problem. And we find that people will struggle in that phase, because what's 9 out of 10 times what you think the problem is not what you think the problem of your target person is not always the problem, and who you think your target is sometimes not your actual target. So those are 3 things I would say. Solving the wrong problem, because you should be always trying to solve problems of people that you have access to. If it's becoming very difficult to get that access, then maybe that's not the people you should be targeting. I ask people to volunteer. Always so many people who always, but you'll be surprised the amount of people who are willing to support your startup that you don't need to pay, whether that is in an advisory role, consulting role, or people just sometimes are looking to pivot businesses. Like I heard you mention people who are have pivoted their career. Like someone could be working in one of the top banks today, but is looking to get into tech or health tech, and you are able to network with them and just be like, hey, like, are you willing to like give us 10% of your time on a monthly basis to be able to support this business? You'd actually be surprised. But again, you always have to be thinking about what's the value of what value am I offering this person that I want to approach. And then the last one around the problem thing kind of touches on what I said at the beginning. You really need to let go. Like the moment you form the business, like it has to be a 50% of I'm 50% committed to this idea, and then the other 50% is I'm 50% committed to seeing where this idea takes me. So just because you start up saying that you want to do like a health tech or a clean tech thing, and this is the problem I want to solve, you have to make sure that your curiosity guides you, because again, the customers that you're meeting, the problems that you think they have are not always the problems that you think that they have. So I'll use the example of Fruna, which I work with as well. Like something that they have seen, right, is that they're doing trade financing and they're solving trade issues between like Africa and the rest of the world. So you first of all think that, oh, like people need help like with their finances and getting their books together. But again, from speaking to them, you find out that, okay, no, the main issue is just like the access to capital. And then you provide the capital and you realize, oh, okay, the main issue is not just the access to capital, it's actually the access to the buyers. Same thing again, you follow that thread, you keep following the thread, and the buyers is more like, okay, like the issue with the buyers is not just I'm just looking for people. It's more like, how can I make sure that these people are credible? So you just keep pulling on the thread, and that will end up guiding your eventual product. So don't feel too stuck with the initial idea, because the beauty and the journey of the business is that pulling on the thread to see where things really stick. I hope that was helpful.
Yes, that was definitely helpful. Go ahead and give her a round of applause. Thank you. Because I find it very interesting how you made those things that ordinarily would seem like big things just seem like, oh, simple, straightforward, just follow the thread.
Honestly, you'll be shocked how, like, people think, like, tech is rocket science. It's not. Like, you are solving a problem, but you're just using technology on it. Like, you're not doing brain surgery.
Thank you so much. I feel like a brain surgeon will also want to simplify it that way. Well, that's what you get when you have someone who knows their onions, right? It's everything seems simple to them. Thank you so much. Going quickly to our next panelist, Emmanuel. You're one person that has spent a long time in the fintech space, specifically the fintech space. Now, you have developed a wide range of products in this space. We know there is one place where, if there's one place where the government is still figuring out policies, it's the fintech space. Tell us, in your experience, how can students and young professionals in the tech industry take advantage of government initiatives, policies, and collaborations in fostering technological innovation in that space?
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. How y'all doing? Say again? All right, great. I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity to the team. Yeah, it's a very good question you asked. So globally, the financial sector is one of the most regulated for understandable reasons. Now, think about the 2000. I mean, I was know about the economic crash of 2008. Anybody here know about that? So, okay, let me paint an example. Imagine that one day, everybody in this room or people in Nigeria just run to their banks and say, everybody, I need my money now. Like all the banks, give my money now. What's going to happen? Chaos, right? Our economic system is going to, the Naira is going to, what can happen after that? War can happen. It's chaos, total chaos. So the financial sector is one of the most regulated spaces for understandable reasons, because it can lead to anarchy, and the peace that we seem to have today would not find it again. right? And so the government is constantly trying to figure out the best ways to actually protect both the nation and yourself. Now, in my experience in tech, one thing that we see with founders and with just products that we build, there's always a trade-off between security and convenience. So you see people trying to build a very nice, easy, simple to just tell you with 1 click, 2 clicks, you're in. But I've seen fraud. Somebody say fraud. I've seen fraud. Very deep. And, the government has to protect you, essentially. We have to say, you know what? For you to be able to access an account, you have to have, for example, two-factor authentication, which seems very simple and basic, but it goes a long way. And so now you see some companies, before you can log into an app from another device, they'll say, verify that it is you trying to do this. Guess what? All of that is the government actually protect you. All of that is part of the regulation that we see today. We see people saying, oh, we want to do crypto. The government like, Charlie, sorry, please, hold on. How many people had Bitcoin here last year or 2 years ago? You can't raise your hand too. I know. If I was there, I would raise my hand too. Because what? Bitcoin is going to what? We said we're going to hit 60K. But where is it now? Like 20-something K, 30K. Right? So the government has to deliberately, regulate the payment space. Now again, one of the reasons why that is as well is because she said something very, very important, which is that sometimes you think, like what you think you're solving, what you think you're solving for might not be what you find when you dip your leg into the water. And we have like 2 kinds of innovators, I like to think, or more. There are people who just wake up one day and like, why is this chair black? Why is the standing fan here? So in case the AC is not working, it will be blowing me, right? There are people who come up with ideas like that. But there are also people who come up with ideas in a different way. And this is sort of like advice for people who want to be founders. Try your best possible to gain deep domain knowledge. Like, sit down with the problem well and long enough before you want to start building. Go outside and talk to the person who you want to actually pay for this product and understand their pain point. Because you want to avoid building a solution that is looking for a problem that it will solve. And so we've seen a lot. There are a lot of products that have come in. How many people have done agro partnerships or Thrive Agric here? Okay, Thrive Agric is good. But there's some other people who've just come into the space. You invest, your money will lose. Pardon my French. Hence why the government puts a lot. I'm just speaking to the first part, right? Am I making sense to you so far? So the government has to put a lot in stopgaps. Now, as to how, what is the next step from here? For us young people, and she spoke to that as well. You said everything finished. One of the things that we can take advantage of first is, how about you don't wait for anybody to come to you first? How about you don't wait for the government first, actually? Now, the government will do their best and will say, every government that comes in will say, we are for the young people. We are going to build an enabling environment. Have we heard that before? Everybody's building enabling environments. Well, yeah, amen. We'll get there. But some of the things you can immediately take advantage of are the resources that are in front of you. The internet is your best friend. Your customers, your potential customers are your best friends. So, there's this analogy of speak to your 200 customers. Speak to how many? And it's like, how am I going to speak to 200 customers? Well, there are different places where you can get data from, but do the legwork. And again, it does not have to be 200. It's just to show you how much of one-on-one data you need to get, okay? Like real-life data you need to get. So, take advantage of the people that are around you, your friends. Find people that have deep domain knowledge. Now, one of the things that I've seen in my experience that has helped people grow is I've seen founders who have friends that they start a company together. Now, they spend a good lot of time together. Do you know what happens? Iron sharpness. Good. When you're with people that understand your vision, you guys are trying to solve the same kind of thing, you would invariably be creating an innovation hub by yourself. That's what helped me. And I'm not yet going to my own personal story, but that's what actually helped me. I had a lot of people, when I started out, we were literally in the same space for a long time. And we would spend time discussing what the challenges were and how we could figure things out. But again, for the government people that will be listening to this, please, that enabling environment, help us. He was my friend. But, I think they're also, like, the government can definitely set up stuff like innovation hubs, like I've mentioned now, access to grants. I think one of the things we need to make more pertinent in our climb is research. I think that the government needs to incentivize research, because here, SDG goal 1 is what? Poverty. There's no time to be researching. Can I just put my product out there? Somebody should just pay me money, let me go forward, and start to, I said I will become the next Bill Gates or next Benga or Tosin Yolanda, as the case might be. So I think that the government can definitely invest a lot into research and incentivize people to do research. I saw a couple of people speak about health here. There's a lot we need to know about health. And just to tie this up as I round it up, for the founders, another thing I think you should take into deep consideration is gaining deep market understanding. Deep market understanding. Like she said, you think that you are solving a problem for this lady. Okay, her heel is like 6 inches. Why don't we give her something that will make her float? When the shoe is paining her, she will just rise and start to move. But it's like, is that what she needs? Is that what she's asking for? Gaining deep knowledge of, and Nigeria is a very interesting space. Our consumers here are we are a unique breed of people. We are unique. So the way you think that, people are going to interact with your products might not be how they would interact with your products or what they need in the way you are customizing it. So my advice to you in that or for that is, iterate fast so that you can gain a lot of knowledge and you can, build and make updates and go again. But before you even go outside, do your best to gain deep knowledge of what you're trying to solve for. I hope that I spoke to compliance and regulation as well.
Yes, you did.
Cool.
You did.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I think that was very helpful. And you can see how the panelists are flowing into each other's thought processes. For you who's sitting in the audience and listening, I want you to ensure you are taking notes. Because one thing I really love about panel sessions is you get your questions answered, and even the questions you weren't thinking about, somehow the panelist goes there. So please ensure you have your notes and your pens. Ensure you are taking notes, because important and very informative things are being shared here. Thank you again, Emmanuel, for that. Quickly, I'll move on to the next panelist. Hi, Chukwu Buka, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Okay, so you're the money man here. You have extensive experience in investment research and management when it comes to raising money at such an early stage. So here we're not even talking about seed, we're talking pre-seed here mostly, right? When it comes to raising money at such an early stage, where should we look for money? In your experience, what are the easiest places for very early stages like this to find funding, and what are some quick pointers you can give us for how to position ourselves? What should we do in-house to look like what the people who want to invest in us are looking for?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chidi. That's an interesting question. To answer, I think I would like to start by admitting that, there are a lot of options for early stage founders, trying to get funds to get your business off the ground. I think that the emphasis on being early stage is also very key, because you don't want to mismatch, right? So when you're at the early stage, you're at the point where you probably don't have a proof of concept, right? You probably don't know if people are interested in what you think, like you've been saying, are interested in, right? So at that stage, all you're doing is, asking questions, interrogating, iterating, and trying to come up with the perfect solution that the market is interested in, right? Technical guys would call it the product market fit. But yeah, if you're an early stage founder, I think one thing to take advantage of is what we call patient capital. So patient capital is funds that, the funds are chasing returns, but unlike what you see in the typical VC PE space, right? They are really not breathing down your neck, and in some cases, those funds are, given to you free, right? There's a lot of government interest. So the enabling environment, part of it is trying to provide funds in the form of grants, right? Startup grants, and just encourage young people to chase their dreams. I know there are a number of things that the federal government is doing. There are different products, right, in the market. So I know that there's one that was launched sometime last year, and is being administered by the Bank of Industry. So it's like a $700 million facility targeted at youths with innovative ideas, primarily fintech or technology-driven solutions to everyday problems. So that's something to take advantage of. And aside from the government, there's a lot of corporate philanthropy, in quotes, right, that you can also take advantage of. The biggest one that easily comes to mind is the TEEF, right, Tony Elumelu Foundation. I think the last time I checked, I think the amount they give is like $5K or $10K, I'm not sure. But that's something that you can also leverage. It happens at the start of the year. I know that the application cycle is typically in January, and then it runs up until March. It's a $100 million fund as well, and it's supposed to run for 10 years. Started in 2015, so should end in 2025, except they choose to start another fund. So that's also something that we can take advantage of. Then as you progress as a business, I mean, if I give you money, I start to expect more and more from you, right? So that now takes us into a different stage of the life cycle of your business. So you've gotten your proof of concept. You're at the point where you're tinkering with products and just, adding features, taking out features, depending on how the market reacts. You also need a lot of money to support that activity, right? So what you can then do at that point, depending on how far you've gone, you might want to take advantage of the growing angel investor community in Nigeria. There are a lot of them. I don't want to name names, but most of them are guys that have had success in terms of, starting up companies, and then they just plow back a portion of, their wealth, their personal wealth, and then they also invest in a lot of startups. So that's something you can take advantage of. You can also take advantage of so we've left the patient capital dimension now. So we're now at the point where, you're approaching more structured sources of capital. So VCs, they typically have a lot of things or a lot of benchmarks that you need to have met before they even engage with you, right? And some of those things you won't expect from a very early stage startup. But I think my advice for most of us is be big on record keeping, right? From the jump, be big on record keeping, data collection and all of that, because further down the line, depending on how long, if you're doing this to make a quick buck and sell your company as fast as possible, then probably that advice is not for you. Or maybe it is for you if you want to cash out big time, right? But keep your eye on record keeping and data collection because it's relevant down the line. When they engage you, they want to do due diligence. Most of those things, those are the things that they're going to ask you for. So I think looking at it broadly, I've touched on most of the sources of capital. Then to the second part of the question, which is how should you position, or what are the things that should be in place before providers of capital will engage you? Aside from record keeping that I've mentioned earlier and data collection, you also want to be very particular about the people behind the products that you are building, right? Surround yourself with, like he said, people with domain expertise or knowledge, people that are genuinely interested in solving that problem. Every other thing is going to flow from there because it's those people that you work with on a daily basis to tackle that solution that eventually, are going to succeed. A lot of the popular examples we have in Nigeria, when you talk about startups, most of them started from their uni days. And most of them moved around in cliques. They tried different things. The popular guys that I like to reference are the Piggyverse guys. I always think that their story is very fascinating. The fact that they all started from school, CU, and, they did I think, more than 10 different things, push CV and a lot of other products before they eventually came up with PiggyVest and it became a hit here in Nigeria. So surround yourself with the right people, keep data, keep records, don't joke with it. I think also you should familiarize yourself with not just startup lingo, but familiarize yourself with startup valuation as well, especially as it concerns the business or the space that you are in, because you don't want anybody, bamboozling you and shortchanging you at the end of the day. So familiarize yourself, know what your key metrics, your key KPIs are, know how you've been performing, what the trend is, what the growth is, and know how it's being valued even globally and how those benchmarks apply to even the local market, right? So yeah, I think as we engage, maybe other points will come to mind or if there are other questions, but for now, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can I also add to that in terms of where to find funding? So he's explained a lot of really, really good ones. I just want to give super granular ones that I think a lot of you can do. First of all, I would really advise, as he said, grants are everything in this part of the world. Unfortunately, we are not America. Most of the startups that come out from universities, as he said, the context is very different here because most of the startups there come from a Harvard, a Yale, UC or whatever, and those universities already have so many funds that fund the universities. So we don't have that, unfortunately. Maybe some do, but one or two do, but most don't. So I would say begin to get a data, get your Google Sheet now and just be every day be researching or go on ChatGPT or Bard and say what are all the competitions like SwitchCon that go on in Nigeria, or even if it's a West Africa or even an Africa, because lots of things are virtual now, an Africa-wide competition or funds that just begin to put all of it now into a Google Sheet, a whatever sheet, and begin to bookmark everything now and begin to see what are the conditions that they are looking for, the requirements they are looking for. Because it's free money. I don't want to say it's free money, but it is free money, honestly. And you should not feel bad about it is free money, and that's probably going to be a good way as you're in. Because another reality that people don't talk about enough is that a lot of the founders in this part of the world are very privileged and they have access to a lot of things that maybe the average person does not. So they already have a network, or the one thing that he already says that the first pool of money is always family and friends, but that's not everyone's reality as to your family and friends that you can pull from that money from. So using the networks of your university, if your school has a fund, begin to figure out how you can get that money, what is the requirements and how do I align to it. All these West African or even global competitions or competitions that are giving out a grant, begin to think about how can I position what I'm selling to be able to have access to that money. Because again, you are super early stage, so it's very forgiving. Don't worry about, I told them I want this competition of 20K with this idea, and 1 year down the line is a different business. Don't worry about that. It is to make sure that you stay alive to be able to solve the problems for the customers. Other thing as well is align yourself with hubs. So a CC hub. Who else is a big one here? I know Grow My Code. Even if you're not a founder, you're a developer that maybe down the line wants to become a CTO, begin to get into these groups. Even Google developer groups, get into these groups because those are the people that eventually will begin to vouch for you. If you begin to attach yourself to a CC hub, attend the events, go to the workshops, learn a lot, that becomes people that can vouch for you, that when they are running an incubator, they already know your name, they know your startup, and you can that's your in. That's one of a great in into the wider funding pool. So that's just one of the things.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's very valuable and useful information, stuff you can begin to use now. What kept running in my mind as I listened to both of you is what you're looking for is looking for you. You're looking for money into your startup. There are people who are looking for people who need this money, free money, as Shade called it. So what you're looking for is looking for you. Just find the information. It's out there. Okay? Thank you so much. Moving quickly again to Obafemi Okunbanjo. You have a lot of experience in management and leadership. Now, when it comes to building your first team, going beyond, me and my co-founder, how can we build a strong and motivated team culture? What qualities should we look out for in hiring a team? Basically, that's the question. So aside the people who are starting, the co-founders themselves, the people they're hiring, what should they look out for in that first team?
All right, thank you very much. I want to say thank you to the SwitchCon team. I appreciate the opportunity being given to be able to make a presentation here. So back to your question. As a startup, there are two things that are very key. The culture you create in your company and also the people. No matter resources that you may have, you might get funding, whatever you are exposed to, if you don't get it right with the people that you have and the culture, everything will get messed up at the end of the day. So I always say this is the most important aspect. Now, creating a culture, there's this balance. If you're in Rome, behave like a Roman. If you're in Nigeria, behave like a Nigerian. Culture is a way of life. This is the way we want to do things here. So as a startup, as a CEO of a startup, you are like the embodiment of that culture you want to create. How do you want your company to operate? How do you want things to get done? Because whatever culture you create will at the end of the day affect your bottom line, the productivity of the staff, and the perception the people out there will have. I can confidently say that the culture in my company, I'm proud of it. I work in the best place, Walore Capital. And why am I saying this? There are a whole lot of things that we put in place to encourage our staff. So this is one thing that you need to pay attention to. Then what are your value system? Your value system will influence the culture you create in your company. So it goes a long way. If you have your value system, you have to also be intentional about creating that culture. Because in this case, you are not the only one, you are not the only person working in the company. You have people working with you. And you have to carry them along. Put that same thing that you have, your value system, you have to impute it into them as well. You have to make them believe believe your own step. This is who I am. This is the way I want things done. And I expect you guys to follow suit. However, my own pattern is this. I do not force my opinion on people. I will make you see reasons why we have to adopt a particular stance. And that is what I feel you should do as well when creating that culture. You need to let them know that, okay, this is the way we want to do things. These are the reasons. It is that reason that will drive that culture. If the reason is not there, if I don't buy into it, I will not believe in that culture. So you have to work with the value system that you've created. Then also there are some other things that you need to think about. Okay, what's the feedback from the team that you have put together as regards the culture of the company? You have to create an atmosphere where people can tell you their mind, where they can tell you, okay, this is how I feel about this. This is what I feel about the decision that I've been taking. So if you don't create that atmosphere, people might not really tell you their mind. In my own company, we have what we call town hall meetings, where we exchange ideas, where we talk. This is where we really say it the way it is without being diplomatic. It is all about getting the feedback to know whether what you are doing is really, really productive or not, if it is the way to go. If there are meant to be changes or you have to tweak your system, that's where you get the information. So you have to do that. And also, you have to create a culture of learning amongst your staff as well. In the sense that, okay, I will use my company as an example. Because here today, I'm going to tell you about experiential skills that I've acquired or things that have really happened. So like in my company, we have what we call a KSS, knowledge sharing session. We do this every Friday. It is just to equip us with the trends within the industry and the economy at large. This is where we get to exchange information as well. And we ensure that each of the staff members, okay, they take up the responsibility of teaching the people, telling them, okay, this is what is obtainable. They are able to act as our instructors for that day. So the major thing here is create a learning environment, let it become a culture amongst your staff. Also encourage them to seek for knowledge even outside what they are doing. Like they normally say, no knowledge is lost. Now, going back to the second question where you talk about putting a team together, there are certain things that you need to identify before putting a team together. The truth of the matter is if you get it wrong at this stage, the whole business will be messed up. No matter the level of funding you would have gotten, it will be messed up. So the first thing first is if you're getting anyone to work with you, either your management team or the other cadre, the first thing that you need to identify is who's ready to work with you on this journey and be on a long time. There are people that are working because they want to make money. Fine, we know the end result is to make money. However, as a startup, or if I'm working with a startup, I know my first intention will not be to make money because it's a growing company. You need to grow it first to a certain level before you start thinking of making money. So even you as a CEO, you have to show that example as well, that you are not here to just start spending or making money. So you have to show yourself as an example to others. And if you're able to do that, others will key into it as well and ensure that, okay, we are here to give services. So you need to ensure that you're hiring people on the long term. You have to hire people that have passion for the job. I know of someone in my company who walked up to me and said, okay, she's been underutilized. Imagine you as a CEO having someone saying to you that she's been underutilized. So, wow, you love that kind of spirit. That's what you want to see every day. I said, well, okay, fine. What can we do together? And she explained. I said, okay, fine. And that person she's one of the people that has been working in different departments. Even she is in a particular department, but she still takes her time to work in other department. And because of that action, we put in place an award in my company where we call it Above and Beyond. We want to encourage people who go beyond their duty call. There are people that will tell you, it's 4 p.m., I can no longer work. That's the contract we sign. There are people that will tell you, I have my people here today. Today is Saturday, it's a weekend. It's not a work day. But because they feel it's a sense of responsibility on their part, so they have to show it. These are the kind of people that you want to have as a team working with you. They believe in your vision. They work with you at the same pace. So if you're able to get it right with this set of people, I'm telling you, the sky will not even be your limit. You'll go above that. So these two things that I've mentioned, the culture you create in that company, your people that you've assembled together, they are very key, irrespective of whatever funding you might have, whatever resources that is available to you, and you have to judiciously make use of these two resources.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was so insightful, right? I really like that on this panel we are getting information we can use now, not just big and high-sounding things, but things that can be implemented right away. And one very big takeaway that I took from what you said right now is be the example yourself. As the person who is inviting people to join you on this journey, you want them to be happy with the amount you want to pay. Show them that you yourself, you're not all about the money. Show them in how you carry yourself. Build the right culture and just be the right example. Thank you so much for that. Moving on now to Ore Shonibare. What the part that interested me most when I was reading your bio is you're a startup that works for other high growth startups. So I'm like, okay, we are in the right place with Ore. You understand, and that's how I like to put it. You understand what it feels like for startups. So my question to you is, when it comes to branding and telling their stories, what are some of the most creative ways you've seen startups go about telling their stories, and what can the businesses in the room today learn from that?
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to Timidayo and the others that put this event together. So I think the most creative ways I've seen startups go about actually setting out to brand and let their story be known is by connecting with their community. So fresh out of uni, when we started We Create, the first two set of startups that we worked with were Carrywise and PiggyVest. And I remember then PiggyVest was a team of 8 Carwise, they were a team of, I think, 5, 8, 2. And then, if you speak with a Carwise or a PiggyVest user, they will tell you literally what they like about the brand. I don't know how many people I've been using PiggyVest and Carwise for over 5 years. Yeah. And I've been working with them for over 5 years too. And from the experience, you can see how with every interaction that they have with their users, they leave the user with an element of the brand. So even if you see even though they have similar colors, but if you see items from PiggyVest or items from Carrywise, you'll be able to discern which is from which brand, because they are very intentional about how they communicate, what they use in communicating, and they also have intentional structures to ensure that everybody that knows about the brand or works with them knows what they are about. So I remember when Carrywise started their university program, and they had campus ambassadors, and that was a very intentional structure that they built to connect with university audience and also have like ambassadors to talk about what they do, and they were very big on education. First time I ever heard about Carrywise was actually when I was in Bowen University. And basically they were saying, oh, you're a student, you're just learning out, you don't really have a lot of money, but this is how you can manage your money. And then they go from how to manage your money to what you can manage your money with. So education is the driving force. In the amount of value that they give to you on the first occasion of you meeting them, you already say, these people, they are very intentional. And this is before they tell you about the app. You just say, that's true, if I know how to manage money better, I'll be better off. For PiggyVest, you have the same pattern. They also did a university program. But more than that, they had very creative ways of putting out content. So now they have their comics. I don't know if anybody knows about their comics. So they have comic strips that they share, a bit of banter in animations. And that is just how intentional they are about that. And I remember when, like 4 or 5 years ago, PiggyVest wanted to have an event. And then they reached out to us and they were like, they want to be able to give users the ability to make users ambassadors. And then they still have a large portion of female users, and they were like, what item can we give to our users so that they can tell other people about us? And I recommended tote bags. Then tote bags were not a thing in Nigeria. People didn't really carry tote bags around. I've been carrying tote bags up and down for a while. I don't know. I carry to church. I still have my first tote bag with me. And basically, they gave people tote bags, and that was how tote bags were everywhere. I'm sure everybody in this room would have seen a PiggyVest or a pocket tote bag at some point. It was basically because they used their demographic to get an item that they would love and they will carry around. So there is a psychology to connecting with your users, and I think that's very important. People can seem very mindless about how they connect with their users. You can talk about, this is the budget we have, and this budget we want to put 15,000 things inside. But to be honest, you don't actually need too many items. You might just need one item. And even more than items is the intentionality. I can talk at length about everything that you need to know about how to connect socially and emotionally with your users. I've been doing this for over 5 years. But what I can tell you is, it starts with intentionality. It doesn't start with a lot of resources. It starts with you knowing that, okay, this is what I have. How can I connect with my users? How can I make my users feel special about what experience that they have with me? And the reason why this is important is because it doesn't matter how much money you have. Intentionality starts from, I want somebody to feel a certain way. If this person feels a certain way, this person will not forget me. The whole essence of branding, if you read about the history of identification, branding as in business, you realize that the essence of a logo started from the idea of differentiation. I want you to be able to tell my RAM from everybody else's RAM. So I put a sign on my RAM. That was how the idea of logo and identification started. And then everybody started finding different ways, colors, and then logos, and then you have the full branding spectrum that we have now. But for you to be different, for you to stand apart, it has to come from a sense of intentionality. You might not have all the resources that you need. I personally, so we after about 5 years in the ecosystem, we decided to create a program where we aided over 100 early stage startups with merch for them to have their first meeting at very least. We announced that at the Create Conference. If you are on YouTube, just search the Create Conference. You will see our conference. We held it last month. And at the conference, we just wanted to let people know that you can connect with people easily. It doesn't need to be overly expensive. It just needs to be intentional. It could be a button badge. Just something that somebody will remember and say, I remember those guys. Even a conversation, a joke. It doesn't need to be something that is overly expensive and something that will scare you off. Because what you really want people to remember is that you exist. Not that you want them to have an item that they will never forget. Obviously, when you get there, you can do that. But while you start, it could even be how you greet people as a founder. Like in how you say, oh, hello, how you doing? Your intentionality for people to know that you are thinking about them. So many people are focused on themselves. So when you go for events like this, people come to you and say, oh, hello, my name is this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. And then you're like, okay, fantastic. And another person comes, hello, I'm looking for a job. If you can change my life, I don't mind. Do you get? And everybody is so fixated about themselves. Sometimes just simply thinking about the other person in the conversation can be what will make people not forget you. So branding can just be done with like a conversation. Oh, what are you into? Oh, what can I help you achieve? That intentionality to put people in the center, that intentionality is also shown in gifting. So it's not just from gifting, it's from the general experience that people have with you. And if you can make that experience one that is intentionally crafted and one that makes people feel more valuable and feel that, oh, they will be better off from interacting with you, they would never forget you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know how many other people felt like this, but while I was listening to him, I almost felt like, whew, because if there is one thing startups have, or one thing they have in common, it is, marketing budget. What's that? What do you mean marketing budget? But with the things he has mentioned, you don't need a budget, so to speak, to do any of those things, right? So that was very helpful, was it? Can we say thank you, Are? Thank you so much. That was very helpful. We should do what we did the first panel, yes? Can we say thank you, Sade? Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Chukwuebuka. Thank you, Obafemi. Thank you so much. This was a very helpful conversation. Now, I will quickly take 2 questions, just 2 questions. I see one person's hand there already. Where's the second person? Second person is here. Okay, can I have someone take a mic into the audience, please? Or can you just come up quickly? Yes. Have that mic. Tell us your name and then your question.
All right. I'm Lawrence by name. My question is directed to you, sir. Yeah, Mr. Chukwuebuka. I thought he's the one that studied biochemistry about microbiology. Now in fintech, is that correct?
Now in finance, investing money in people like you.
Thank you very much. VC, yes. Right? PE, private equity. Good. My question is that, sir, from what you have said so far, you mentioned that it's very important for someone to gain, feed knowledge of whatever niche you are working. Now, like a year now, I've always had that challenge that I have experience in the energy sector and also in the data field, and I know building product right from scratch that's going to compete with existing infrastructures is not actually possible for now until some things are put in place. Now, some of the ideas I have had to be with something from my own personal experience, but I realized that it's very hard to actually convince people on field where you do not have experience. So I want to ask, from the investment perspective, how do founders, just like people that are there also that can benefit from the question, that founders that don't necessarily have experiences in the solution they are thinking of solving now and also in the future, how do they navigate that, that pipeline, either in terms of from the management perspective or recruitment or from the experience perspective? Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Interesting question. I would offer my perspective and I would ask my fellow panelists to chime in as well. So yes, I mean it looks ironic. I'm saying build domain expertise, and me, I studied one thing and I'm doing another thing. I think that's not lost on me. But I think that if you if you look around the startup landscape in Nigeria, and that's why I mentioned the point about who you surround yourself with. He mentioned it as well. So it's not everybody that, you know how when they've raised money and the startup has become popular and then you are seeing their face, you can assign their face to the startup and all of that. The truth is that in most cases, they are the brains behind the ideas, no doubt, right? But some of them, especially those within, fintech, payments, etc., some of them, they had the initial idea, and because they understand that they don't have domain expertise to actually build out a product, they then surround themselves with people that do, right? And I mean, what's the need for those people that do? You give them the title of co-founder, right? So co-founder doesn't necessarily that at the point of, ideation, both your brains were synced and the idea just came to both of you at the same time. No, it just means that someone had an idea, someone else had domain expertise, and both of them were heading in the same direction. And then they came together and, created something for everyone to use. There are particular examples. If you're familiar with the Paystack guys, I know that Shola is, the guy in front, right? He's the one that when you talk about Paystack, you talk about his face and how he came up with the idea. But at the point of his inception, very early on, he brought in Ezra. Ezra was his friend, longtime friend. And, Ezra has the technical ability. So he made him co-founder and CTO. And see where, Paystack is. We celebrate them as one of the most successful exits within the Nigerian fintech space, right, over the last couple of years. So yeah, there's no shame, there's no harm in not having domain expertise. But the problem is when you set out without surrounding yourselves with people that do, then it becomes, what are you really doing here? So that's
so
my
much.
viewpoint.
Yes, that's so succinctly put.
Yeah, so I think you might not have amazing input. You might not have domain expertise, but it's essential that you exist in a community that there are people that you can have the conversations with. Like, you don't have to know everything. Like, for instance, in my story, I didn't know anything about the business about We Create initially. I didn't know as much. And then my co-founder had the idea, met up with me, and then we started working on it. And then I started learning from the person that had the domain expertise. So also, I'll say be a good person, because generally when people think about community, they think of I will meet somebody, or there will be this Eureka moment and then we'll meet each other. But typically, it could just be somebody that says, I know this guy is very hardworking. I think he studied something different, but he's very diligent, and I'm sure that if he gets into this, there will be value. So just being diligent with what you do, being able to connect with people, have conversations with people, you already position yourself as somebody that will know somebody that will know somebody, and then you can say, I'm looking for somebody that is working in data this, and then somebody says, I know a guy. And literally, that's how people actually find co-founders now. They just say, do you know anybody that is in finance that does it? And they say, I know this guy. So have community in terms of your friends, have a good track record that you can actually do what you say you would do, and people would actually say, that guy can come through. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think community has come up so many times in our conversation today, and if you don't already have it on your to-do list, put it there now. Be part of communities, or at least be part of a community, and be a good person in that community. You wanted to add something?
Thank you. So here's what I think as well. Your products or whatever it is you build might not be from a personal experience, but at the least, you need to be interested in it. That interest you have to solve a problem should drive you to want to learn about it. Nobody can do that work for you. Getting a co-founder that is technically sound is not going to still
exempt you from knowing what you are trying to do. So if, hey, Jesus. So, and let me use an example here. I'm going to use myself. As I sat on this seat, I noticed that everybody's feet could touch the ground except me. Like, my leg was floating. Who noticed me? Yeah. So, guess what? I had an interest in touching the ground, right? That's what I wanted to achieve. Be by myself, I could not achieve it. But I'm wearing shoes that have enough platform to help me attain my goal. So you find a technical founder or other people who are business sound, because that's another thing. There are a lot of people who come to pitch products, they really don't get it. They just have the idealistic, oh, we're going to change the world, which is great. But you see, the granular, mathematical, the numbers, the data, you need to have it. Because as an investor, guess what? They are not just investing in your product, but they're investing in you. You, the founder. I need to know that you can demonstrate competence, discipline, grit, resilience, and execution. And you can't be any of those things if your interest has not driven you from just, I love this idea. Do you get? So, yes, get people who are stronger than you in things, but you should also immerse yourself. See, it's like walking in a dark room. If you get into a dark room, there's likely that you hit your leg. But when you stay in that, when there's no light in your house, don't you know where everything is? Because you've spent time enough. So you know how to navigate. So, for example, in payments, there are many products that have come up now. You are like, why didn't banks think of doing this? Why didn't they think of doing this? Why didn't this person do this? And shout out to all the banks, so because all of the fintechs are riding on what other people have done, right? So big ups to all the banks and all the financial providers. But it's like, there are people who just said, wait, how does this thing actually work? And that's where curiosity is a big deal. You can't take out curiosity from any founder's life. Like, if you're not curious enough to want to learn, like, I'm not going to give you money. I'm not going to give you money. I'm not going to invest in your business, right? So curiosity is a big deal, right? You need to be able to tell and sell a story. I should be able to invest in you that, this guy has a vision. One other thing investors look for in you is that you have a vision, a very big vision. If you're looking for investors from outside Nigeria, they're looking for companies that can get, 5-10x in revenue, maybe even 100x in some cases in revenue. And how can you achieve that if you don't have a grand vision? If your vision is just, I just want Emmanuel to be able to touch the ground, and it's only Emmanuel out of 6 people. It's like, that is not a minimum viable segment enough for them to. So you need to know. So again, you might not be, this is not saying that, I want to build an app, then go and learn programming. That's not what I'm saying. You might not need to do that. You can have someone who is going to be able to do those things. But these products that we're building, this is the why, this is the what, and this is what is driving us. Because how are you going to drive innovation as the leader if you don't know enough? How are you going to do that? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think what he has said can be summarized into, if you love it enough, where's the evidence? Show the evidence. Let us see proof that you love it enough and you're passionate enough about this. Debbie, before you pursue us, can we take the second question? Okay. Don't worry. You can gather your question together and give it to one of the ushers here, and they will help you. Once again, I want you to give a resounding round of applause to our panelists. Thank you so much for shedding insights and sharing from your personal stories information that we can use now. Thank you very much. Pictures, please. Quickly answer that question while she gets the photographer. Quickly. Tell us your name and your question.
So my question is actually for Sir Obanimi. I'd like to ask that, would you be able to encourage that worker of yours if there wasn't an award?
Okay. Encouraging the worker without the award.
Like,
if the
getting
award
that energy, would you still have been able to achieve that in your company without awards, without things to really award their energy?
There are 1,001 ways through which you can appreciate someone or motivate someone. So the award is just one of those things. It could have been any other thing. It could have been a financial reward. It could have been some other things. The main thing is that person is being rewarded, and that's the key thing. So the form of reward is what you are now talking. The form of reward might be different from what you feel it should be. But the most important thing is the person is being rewarded and appreciated.
That night I wouldn't trade. Been thinking about it each and every day. Hey, through a storm we sailed away. We danced and cried when things turned into gray. It feels like you have never left me. Let's pretend we've never been
wow.
apart.
Who wants to wow with me? Wow, 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 wow. Wow.
Come with me now. I will guide you all the
Whew, that was a very power-packed panel session with extremely insightful tips that you can easily execute on. I think that was my favorite part of the panel session, the fact that these are things that you can implement. This information is going to be useful for you. You can apply it personally. And I just want to do, of course, a quick recap as well. So, because I know they've been speaking for a while, just to refresh your memory on the profound things that they shared. The first thing that Sade shared, she made mention of the fact that you should not be afraid to make changes on your idea. And I think that's very important because some of us as founders or as innovators, we want to hold on to that idea the same way that we plan for it to be like. We don't want to change it. You don't want it to move. And then it will break. You say when you hold an egg super close because you don't want it to break, that's when it actually breaks. So don't be afraid to make changes to your idea. As long as those changes are informed by data and research, then those changes are allowed. Emmanuel said a lot of things, but something that he said that stayed with me is take advantage of the resources already in front of you. When she was speaking about government collaboration and taking advantage of initiatives by the government, he said, don't wait for the government. I mean, there's a long way that we have to go as a nation. And if we wait until then, we will not accomplish anything meaningful. So it's important to take advantage of the resources in front of you. For our teams, I think this is very relevant to share here because you can, for example, the information that the judges have shared with you today, these are free insights, free feedback that you did not have to spend any money to get. You just heard, how to reconceptualize your idea and all of that good stuff. So don't be afraid to make changes and take advantage of the resources that you have. And something very profound that Ebuka, the money man, said is be intentional about record keeping. That particular one, I almost came to give him a standing ovation when he said it because I work in venture capital, right? He works in PE, but I work in venture capital. I'm a non-code babe, because PR and comms and media things. But I see a lot of pitches from startups, right? And a lot of people don't have evidence, especially at early stage. What a lot of investors are looking out for is traction. Even if traction is not necessarily revenue at the time, traction is how many people have shown interest in this idea that you have. And that can only be evidenced by the records that you have kept. So your burn rate, your feedback, all those good things, make sure that you collate it together so that when you're asked, you will not explain tire. Okay, I think I've said enough of that. All right, so Obafemi said something, and this thing I said, I felt like it was so timely because who is on Twitter and seeing all the wild things that some tech founders are doing these days? I don't know if you guys are up to date with this information, with this gist of tech founders paying themselves thousands of dollars as salary when the company has not even taken flight. Who is hearing the gist? Am I the only one? You people know about it. Yes, it's crazy because you're like, where did they learn this behavior from, right? And it's funny because that kind of culture, if you don't, as a tech founder, if you don't have your own personal strong values, you cannot replicate it in your company. If you're a toxic person, your company will be toxic. That's the sad news, but that's the truth, right? So these are I'm stating those easy to apply principles that you may not need now because you may not have a company, but of course you are going to be great, right? This is your seed time. There is a time for harvest. I'm already preaching. But yeah, I need you to know this, that you can actually have those tips. Make sure no knowledge is lost. Make sure that you collate it together so that you can make use of it when the time comes. So there was one final thing that Aura of We Create said, and that was so beautiful because it reminded me of the Share a Coke With campaign. Who remembers the Share a Coke With campaign? That was like 2011 or so. Some Gen Zs are looking at me like, wait a minute, I'm like, there's this cool thing where Coke did, where they used to put they customize people's names on Coke bottles. Who remembers? Yeah, and that may not have taken a lot of resources. It took thoughtfulness and intentionality to think what will make our users feel loved. And Coke is a lot about that, like, feelings, love, family, and all of that good stuff. So that's a way to think when it comes to approaching and advancing in your tech career. Be thoughtful, be intentional. Think outside of yourself, right? So you see that panel session was really good. Do you agree with me that it was really good? Somebody say really good. Really good. It was really good. All right, so we are going to proceed really quickly because our time is far spent. We're going to go ahead to the rest of the battlefield teams that we have. So we're going to be receiving their presentations very shortly. I would like to call the judges to come back to the building. I don't know if they can hear me. But in the meantime, I would like Team Alpha I to please get ready. Team Alpha I, are you in the hall? Okay, awesome. Please, a round of applause for Team Alpha I, all the way from Lautech. I'm going to call on the judges shortly. Please, can I have a volunteer, please, call on the judges? Please, judges, we need you, please. We need you to be seated. Thank you very much. A round of applause for our judges. They've put a lot of hours to spend with us today. We are so grateful. Thank you so much. All right, so Team Alpha I is going to come up. They have 5 minutes to present their idea. Team Speak Africa is also going to come up right after them. They have 5 minutes as well. We're going to make this quick, so please let's maintain decorum. Let's not forget. Listen, remember the Viewers' Choice Awards is still coming up, so listen to their presentation. Pay rapt attention. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Team Alpha I from Lautech.
Seeing their children or earning a living. Removing a cataract is simple and relatively inexpensive. So why are so many still living in darkness?
Why are so many people in Africa still living in darkness? According to an article written by the World Health Organization on visual impairment, roughly 2.2 billion people worldwide suffer from near or distant visual impairment, and alarmingly, half of this population, roughly 1 billion people, actually have preventable blindness. Cataract stands as a major preventable blindness ravaging Africa with no respect to either the old or the young. And that is where Alpha I comes in. Our solution is a two-way approach, just like Mr. Temidaya said in the morning, that sometimes some solutions require two approaches. We have two approaches, the mobile app and a web app. Our mobile app is a user-centric mobile application that uses the camera capabilities of a mobile device to be able to take pictures and scan, and then our AI-based image processor runs the images to be able to detect cataract. Upon detecting cataract, we then provide guidance, but not medical advice. Then we also recommend clinics for people around them so that it will make access to quality healthcare easier for people. Then for the medical professionals, we realized that in the United States, at least for 1 million patients, you have at least 56 ophthalmologists. But in Africa, you only have 1 to 1 million. And that makes that whole process of diagnosis very long and tedious. So in order to streamline that, we decided to create a solution for
our healthcare professionals to be able to make accurate and timely diagnoses to reduce the waiting time. So our web app, the doctor feeds the ocular fundus of the patient's eye retinal scan for our AI-based image processor. It scans and then it gives the doctor a report. Oh, this is the confidence level. We are 97% sure this patient has cataract. And then also it tells the doctor, oh, this is where you need to look. Also, market opportunity for our startup in Africa. Due to the rising population of aged people in Africa, leading to high prevalence of cataracts, we believe that we have a very vast customer base for our app. Also, the adoption of smartphone apps in a lot of places in Africa, we believe that this will give our user base a very large population of users. Then marketing trends in Africa. Recently, after making our research, we decided to check the trends of what is happening in the medical health industry. And then we realized that there is a surge in telemedicine. And companies like Okta Health, too, they have been leading in providing teleophthalmology in remote healthcare. Then also, we are integrating AI and machine learning. Recent solutions to healthcare have incorporated AI and machine learning, and we are also doing that. Mobile health apps, remote monitoring, data privacy focus. Next slide. Then our market size potential. We have smartphone penetration and the growing elderly demographic contribute to the expanding opportunity. Then the scarcity of high health infrastructure in Africa is actually a public health crisis, which we are aiming to solve with our solution. Then our business traction. Now, recently we started talking, we've gotten in talks with the director of the ophthalmology department of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology Teaching Hospital, who also owns a specialist, AI specialist center. And then she has told us that she's actually interested in helping us gather data sets, real-life data sets, to be able to push our solution to production. Then our business model, the customer segments. You have 3 categories of customers. The individual users, practitioners, and healthcare institutions. Next slide. Then value proposition. What do you get being a user of our app? Easy eye scans, AI detection, personalized recommendations, clinics, data privacy, accessibility. Next slide. How do we intend to make money? Through clinic partnerships and subscription models. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Then how do we stand out among our competitors? We are using a cutting-edge AI technology to be able to build a precise and early condition detection, setting it apart from other conventional high apps. User-centric designs, we are so careful. We are, as intuitive interface and accessibility features makes it so easy and seamless for users, even old people, to be able to navigate the app. Clinic integration, thank you.
Now you are live. Wow. So you can clap like this. Woo, okay, okay. Well done, Alpha I. Our judges, do you have questions for them?
Thank you very much for that. I was surprised to see that you're a back-end engineer. You spoke so fluidly. That's very, very good. I commend you for that. No, very fluid. That was amazing. You know, there's the single story that engineers are geeks. They don't know how to, but he's demystifying that stereotype. So well done to you. So, one of the things I love about your solution is that you are just sticking to one thing: cataracts. That's amazing. That's a big deal for you. 2 questions. How high-end does my phone camera need to be for your app to scan and get a good diagnosis? There's a mic on that.
Taking your scans, you are also putting measures for image enhancement to be able to enhance the images. And also, we are also making plans for having, shall I say, data augmentation in such a way that whether there are different lightnings, different shades of how you took your pictures, our AI model will still be able to process the image and be able to give you a result.
So cataract is not, you don't need anything deep. You just to scan my eyes.
Well,
I'm asking now, I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. So you can tell me. So for example, it can be that I assume that there could be cloudiness in the eyes.
Yeah, there is cloudiness on the lens of your eyes. So that makes it actually like easier to actually detect.
Just the lens of the eyes.
Just the lens of the eyes.
Not inside.
Well, how will I say now? That's why we also have the doctor's side too.
Okay.
To test, to know the level of severity. So
Don't worry, you're good. My second question, okay, not a question, my advice as well, because if you look at the people in this room, their eyes starts to pain them, they scratch it, it's red, they say it's Apollo, it's not Apollo. One day someone say, go to the hospital and check your eyes. The people who are likely to really, really need your solution are people in the lower cadre of society. What you can consider for them, because they may not likely have smartphones that have cameras for you to even enhance the images from those cameras. You can borrow the online to offline method. What this means simply is, so a use cases, there are companies that are e-commerce companies that today, they know that not everybody in the community can have a good enough device or phone. They set up a kiosk, a physical location in areas like agents. So you can have a place, tiny cubicle. People can just come, just take a picture. Just take a picture of your eyes now. Pay 100 or 200 or whatever amount your pricing is. I don't know what it is. But that's something you can adopt for local communities where people might not have smartphones enough. So you just get one device and you can speak to a lot of people.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is... Please, if you are clapping, clap. I don't know. So, which of you has medical education?
The person that is a medical researcher is a medical student. He's currently having his professional exam.
Okay,
so that was the
so you have a
reason
medical person on your team?
Yes.
It's obvious. When I finished HNG in 2020, my final project was something I called Zoptics. Zoptics was a retinal scanner that could detect any as long as the disorder can be found on the retina, we can detect it. But the person that I was reported to shut me down, so I'm very excited to see that there has been more research built up on what I knew at the time, and just seeing that there's a lot more possibilities. So I don't even have any question. I'm not very excited about.
Well, we can partner with you to bring your idea back to life.
I promise I will not mind. Because,
no problem.
Because I have a degree in medical biochemistry. I know I'm a designer.
If you are ready to join our team, you're welcome.
At this, I really won't mind. I'm not even being biased. I have a very strong thing about medicine, and this is very exciting for me. So well done.
You're welcome. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So great presentation, and I love the solution as well. But I of course AI is involved here, right? So I want to believe there will be some AI model responsible for validating whatever it is you will be recommending to the user. So my question is about with AI models, there are likely to be like situations of like false positives. Yeah. So how does your hub intend to undo false positive? Because I mean, this is an health situation. Imagine someone scanning their eyes, and then they do not have cataract, and then they have telling them they have cataract. How do you intend handling that?
Well, we'll continue to fine tune our AI models to be able to take care of that, and also probably we'll liaise with medical practitioners to be able to give their own diagnosis too, so as to reduce the rate of misdiagnosis.
So my question is it before breaking into the market, or this
yes,
is going to
before
be
breaking into the market to keep fine-tuning our models.
All right, great, yeah.
A round of applause for Alpha I. They seem to be the crowd's favorite because I've never seen you guys. Please, a round of applause for Debbie, the media girl. All right. Wow. There's so much to take away from that presentation. One thing in particular is the fact that I've never seen, just like Emmanuel said, I've never seen a back-end developer so like fluid and, confident and bold in presentation. I feel like he's CMO material. Like if you sell a dream to you, you will buy. Please, a round of applause for him. That was so cool. And fun fact, I'm wearing contacts, right? They are transparent, and I can see all of you, but I wear glasses, so I felt like I was personally like touched by that presentation. Like the research that was done, I'm like, this is a real problem that is not really spoken about. So I don't know whether it's my bias, but I like you guys. I like you guys. Please a round of applause for Alpha I. Okay. Enough of the mushiness. Let's move ahead to the next team on today's Battlefield Challenge. Please, Speak Africa, can you rise and head to the stage? A round of applause for Speak Africa. I know we can applaud now, so let's show it. Thank you. You have 5 minutes. Your time starts when you start speaking.
Good afternoon, everyone. A professor of an American professor said, and I quote, "Language is not just words, it's a culture, a tradition, a unification that creates a community, and a whole history that creates what a community is." Let me take you to a time. On a regular day, with a senior colleague of mine, having discussion about life, work, and everything in between. In the process, he dove into a story whereby he shares the difficulties about his African colleagues and friends in the diaspora that are having the problem of passing down their language and culture to their offspring. His story inspired us to come up with the idea of Speak Africa. At Speak Africa, we aim to preserve the richness and values of African culture, tradition, and heritage, and also create a platform that bridges the gap between African diaspora and those that are willing to embrace it, and also to keep the connection of African in diaspora to their roots. Our target audience are not limited to African in diaspora alone. Speak Africa welcomes African language experts and those that are curious about the vibrant and diversity of African language and culture. Next slide, please. Our uniqueness. What to make users to choose Speak Africa over and over again are one-on-one live session, post-lesson support and practical follow-ups, a supportive community, which makes it engaging and comprehensive. Monetization strategy for Speak Africa. Our monetization strategy are based on subscription and translation of videos, audios, and books, premium booking of live session. This is our team. While we are refining our revenue model, we are actively seeking for investors that shares our passion for keeping African values, and also their support is going to help us to reach our short-term goal for teaching the core African languages and create an employment for African language experts. While beyond that, we are envisioning to explore the world of AI and animation to show the African wonders to the world and create a marketplace, a thriving marketplace for African language and culture. Today, we present to you not just an app, but a cultural revolution, a product that is born from our aim to preserve African richness, to preserve richness of African language and timeless value of African culture. Join us in this transformative journey as we speak Africa to the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speak Africa. Do we have questions? All right.
Hi, is your name Dara? Dara was the name of the persona on the app. Mumbashir. Okay. So here's the question I have. I am also at the moment doing some research around like language technology, interestingly. So if you check Google Translate today, check what translates and all the different AI translation tools that are available today. Let me use Yoruba as an example. The tone marks on words are not there today. You can have tone signs, the dot diacritics under the alphabet, but the ones on top, you don't have them today. And you know that in Yoruba language, OWO is Owo or it can have, so when you don't have the signs, you lose the meaning of the word. How do you intend to cater to that today? Because I think that your business can pivot into something else because today it's not readily available today. So is that something that you're considering? You can just be an API solution. You can be an API solution provider that gives people like Duolingo or all these other guys the ability to do that if you are considering that. So, but how do you want to cater to the diacritics on the different languages today so that you can have their meanings in the words?
How we are planning to handle that is through the use of AI. We are trying to train our own model.
You're trying to train a model?
Yes.
Okay.
To do that for us.
How do you intend to do that?
As I said while I was presenting that, we need language experts. So when we get language experts, they can give us the things that we need to train the model.
So you want to build like a dictionary?
Yes.
Like a CDN?
Yes. So it will be able to teach people, and also it will be able to give them the exact meaning of things that they need, and as well to keep African culture and
okay, so your goal is to build a CDN of all African languages?
Not all African languages, the core African
languages. Okay, I guess you answered my question, so that I would not spend too much time, but thank you very much.
Yeah, hi. This was good, but I have a concern. Nigeria has over 700 languages, and the core is just 3. There are 697 others, including mine. I'm Ibibio. And me, I'm good, but I have a brother who is in his teens that doesn't speak and doesn't understand. There's no YouTube resource. I've checked everywhere. There's no YouTube. There's no Duolingo. The only thing that can help him now is to go and stay with my grandma. And she can't do that because in school. So of 700 languages, you've only attended to 3. I feel like a good way to stand out, or a good offering would have been to say that you are focusing on maybe 10 or 20 more, because we are also Nigerians and we also have languages, and probably start from there and try to talk about the minority, because the popular ones, there is Google Translate from all of them to English. There is YouTube videos. The people of the language are already like building platforms. They are spotlighting their language. The rest of us are just like just there, like accessories, and that's not really fair. So I feel like maybe you try to think about like a unique proposition and focus on like other. It doesn't have to be all 697. It could just be like the core of the minority first, and then build up from there, because the languages are not really different when you think about it. But yeah, that's my thing.
Thank you.
A round of applause for Speak Africa. I must commend the uniqueness of their idea, because culture is very important, and preserving it is a great idea. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move very swiftly to the next team on today's Battlefield Challenge. I'll be calling on Team Evolution from LASU. Team Evolution, are you here? All right. We're going to move really quickly now. So after Team Evolution, I want Team Sabi Mita. Team Sabi Mita to please be ready to follow suit. Team Mom Alive to follow after Team Sabi Mita. And Team Topical Test will be the final team that we're hearing from today. Team Evolution, over to you. Your time starts when you start speaking.
So good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, today we are putting smiles on the faces of smallholder farmers. Next slide. While I was in secondary school, we had farm practice. And after this farm practice, we noticed that while some students experienced maximum farm yield, other students experienced stunted growth. Now the big question popped up: why the difference between this yield? I live at Aton-Ota, a rural part of Ogun State, and over the years, I've observed the same sequence with farmers. At times, they had maximum farm yield. Another time, their yields were very low, leading to loss of investment of time, energy, and resources, and ultimately low production of food. As a student of electronics and computer engineering, and having met an able team, we came up with a solution. Food, next slide, food is very essential for the survival of man. Everyone here will agree with me that you need to eat to stay alive. Next slide. With the world population growing exponentially, it is important that the food rate grows at them following each other. Why do I say it? Because as the world production increases, more mouths need to be fed. And as more mouths need to be fed, if there are not enough food to feed these people, it will result in high mortality. Now, look at it. Next slide. One of the factors we must focus on to ensure the exponential increase in food production is the soil factor. Now, taking you back to the first scenario I painted, the difference between the two groups of students occurred due to the difference in soil quality. Now, I want you to understand that we were given the same quality of seed, where we had the same climate condition, but the only thing that was different was the farm field. Next slide. But in solving this issue, myself and my team came up with a solution. This is our evolved device that helps farmers get the real-time value of their soil. Now, what values? The nitrogen, the phosphorus, the potassium, the pH, the soil moisture, temperature, and the electrical conductivity. All these parameters are important for farmers to get the real-time values. And that is not all. Our device contains an LED light that pops up when the soil parameters are not suitable to produce a crop. When they are not suitable to produce a crop, next slide, we understand that there are other several ways in accessing soil quality. We have the scientific method and the drone technology. But what sets us apart is that our device is affordable, it's simple to use, and its speed is very fast in bringing results. Like I said before, the device in the hand of the farmer, you insert the probe in the soil, and you have your values in a real-time format.
According to the statistics gotten by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, it has been noted that around the globe there are about 380 million smallholder farmers in the world. We at Team Evolution are targeting a minute amount of 0.001% in the next 3 years, which is equivalent to 380 smallholder farmers. Revenue gotten from this device is going to be spent on revenues will be gotten by the sales of this device, firstly, and secondly, by the extension services we'll be offering to smallholder farmers in rural areas. This is a slide showing our business operation, which is our key partners, which are the technology suppliers for IoT, drones and robotics, NGOs, and Ministry of Agriculture. This roadmap shows even our operation. As of 2023 October, we started with the solution we are implementing, which is the design of Evolve. And by 2024 February, we hope to give extension services. And finally, our endpoint will be our drone launch in 2026. Next slide, please. The funding plan. The money we get from this competition will be spent on the following. 50% of our money will be spent on extension services, 25% on product development, 10% each for equipment and personnel, and the last 5% for marketing and advertising. Team Evolution comprises of 4 individuals, which are 3
hardware analyst and one software developer. Our dream is to put smiles on the faces of smallholder farmers, and we implore you to partner with us to make this dream a reality. Thank you very much.
That was concise and very, very amazing.
Thank you very much. Very nice presentation. Good for you to come with your device. Just how much did it cost you to make this device? 75,000. How much do you intend to sell a unit? Okay. Okay.
Have you 105,000? What's your, I know your target audience. Okay, before I heard the price, I was going to say these farmers, the end user farmers, need some kind of education on how this, I don't like,
Okay.
as farmers.
That's why we said our revenue streams are from the sales of devices and offering rural extension services to farmers. So we have extension officers in certain rural areas.
So there are certain technologies, for example, that have not taken shoot in Nigeria and other parts of the world because of education.
Yes.
So we all know a company, I'll not call their name, they spent, okay, I'll not mention the amount, a lot of money into pushing QR payments in Nigeria, but we didn't understand it, and so we didn't accept it, and so we didn't adopt it. Acceptance, adoption, right? What she's saying now, you're not supposed to sell it. Free advice. If you want me to adopt your product, you want to make me pay you to teach me to pay you money. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
So, no, I'm not even saying you're wrong or you're right. I'm just saying that if you want to, you should, as part of your model, you should be the one looking at offering education to people. Take it to farmers. How many people, are there people using your product today?
No, just the prototype here. Yeah,
When did you make this?
I made it for this competition.
You made it, have you spoken to farmers about this?
Yes, yes. I live at a rural part.
How many farmers did you speak to?
About 10 to 12 farmers.
10 to 12 farmers. Okay, cool. There are products that do what this does, Sha. Are you aware?
Not exactly like this.
I think there are products that do it and for cheaper.
No.
So, but check. I think it's a nice concept too. I love it. Right. Guess what? The fact that there are other people doing it means that there's a market for it. Yes, so that's an advantage. It does not mean don't go ahead to do it. But I think that we can find, it can be more portable, it can be cheaper. Yes, so consider other options of the device. Because now, never mind. But well done. Well done. Thank you very much.
So everything he said, plus just to add, as a farmer, most likely my literacy level is not very high, top notch. So I don't care about all these things. I want to just plant, harvest, sell, get my money. I need a lot of convincing to make me buy this. I don't know the details, I don't know the engineering, but if you can find, is it cheaper to produce in large scale? Like, how cheaper, like percentage?
It can reduce about 20% because we ordered these materials from China.
Oh.
So shipping and everything involved. Okay. Sorry, we ordered these materials from China and the shipping fee was very high. So it affected the cost of production. It helps farmers take precise decision. Yes. Okay, personal safety. I don't really understand.
Is there any risk?
No
safety risk?
No risk. No, it can't shock you. It has a...
I feel like maybe try to source for cheaper but still quality materials. Maybe make it smaller.
Yes, that's what we're going into mass production. When you move into mass production, everything comes smaller. And because this is just a prototype, so we just assemble the components together. Okay. But when we are going to mass production, we are going to have PCBs involved. So we are going to design everything from scratch and not just connect our components together.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Thank you very much, Team Evolution. I just have to say, people are thinking, wow. People are using their brains. Wow. So impressive. Another round of applause for all the teams that have displayed so far. All right, we're moving very swiftly to the next team. I'll call them up right about now. Team Sabi Mita, please step to the stage. Our applause has now died. Please, let's applaud and celebrate them. Right after Team Sabi Mita, please, Team Mama Life should prepare to step to the stage as well. And then we'll have the last team, Team Topical Test, so that we can bring this to a close.
Sorry about that. All right. Last month, Unilag students held a protest against the hike in school fees, which has been a major trend across public universities in Nigeria. Now, LUT added an additional 20,000 naira to its as electricity fees for its students as a result of the high energy expenses incurred by the school. We found out that they recently switched from a gas plant to an energy distributor. And the reason for this was because their energy consumption was way above their energy production of the gas plant. Now, what caused this exactly? This is because they cannot exactly pinpoint where the major site of their energy wastage is coming from. And this is a problem a lot of households and businesses face, because you see that your bills keep increasing. Now, with unlike prepaid meters that give you an overall estimate of what you have used, with Sabi Meter, our users are able to accurately track their energy wastage with our custom-built sensors, and also send this data to our mobile app, where they can easily get insights on how to regulate and better improve their energy efficiency. Now this is a mock-up of our mobile app. Users are able to get insights on their energy usage per day at any period in time, and also have all their energy devices here that they've connected to the sensors. All right, let's see. And this is also the general overview, where you can view your energy usage to better give you informed decisions on how to improve your energy efficiency.
Now, our business model is primarily by the sales of our hardware devices. Now, this custom-built hardware, we're going to be retailing it, and we would also be collecting revenue by subscription services. We are going to be monthly, subscribers are going to be paying a monthly fee, as well as transactions for the added convenience when our subscribers pay their electrical bills online through our platform. Now, for our marketing strategy, we would primarily be using a direct sales pitch to our target customers, which are energy-intensive facilities, as well as households. Then we would also explore digital marketing options like social media, search engine optimization, and what have you. Then we are keen on establishing partnerships with well-established companies, which we are going to offer them discounts. In return, we are going to use their influence for social proof and acceptance of our product as a whole. Then we also would continue establishing a partnership with NetHub for production of this custom hardware, and as well as fintechs for payment services on our platform. Now, if our indirect competitors are the electric meters or prepaid meters, while our direct meters are smart meters, which are not readily found in this area of the world. But both of our competitors, they offer the users the overall energy consumption. But with Sabi Meter, you are able to track and accurately monitor energy consumption at the device level, which means that you will be able to have the highest level of energy efficiency and save up way much more. Now, going to the next slide. This states the overall energy consumption in LUT over a fiscal year of 12 months. Now, if you look at the slide, with Sabi Meter accurately ensuring energy efficiency by just 10%, This saves Lutz annually about 5 million naira, and this is enough incentive for our customers to continue using Sabimeter because they see it as a win-win for both the students and the school, and this is also going to be an increased profit margin for us because who doesn't want to save cash anyway?
Based on what we've been able to do so far, in the past 3 months, we've come up with the hardware and the app. So I'll walk you through our plans for the next 1 year. So by next 3 months, we plan to test the app and the hardware to ensure optimal quality and get user feedback. Then, by the next 6 months, we plan to pre-launch the MVP so that beta testers will test and confirm viability of the product. Then by the next 9 months, okay.
Please, can we make that applause louder? Thank you very much, Sabimeter. Thank you, Team Sabimeter. Judges.
Thank you very much, guys. I think this is potentially a product for everybody, right? To know how because now, how much do you bring to your house for? How much do you spend in your house? A lot of money. Okay, so my first question to you is a technical question. Oh no, let me start here first. Have you tested this anywhere? You've tested this?
We have done a series of A/B testing in NITOB Unilag. We have done a series of.
So you have this sensor installed?
Yes.
How do you install this?
Now the sensor has 2 terminals. There's the power.
I can see it. Yes, go ahead.
And as well as this terminal, which so it can only track USB devices for now because we built it customly for only to measure the energy usage in a USB plug device. So, of course, it sends the JSON files directly to the cloud database, which we can access on our mobile app too.
Okay.
So, when this is packaged, thank you. When this is fully packaged, it's going to be able to plug to a socket, which works like an adapter. So you plug your appliance to that adapter, and it measures the electricity going to the appliance.
If I have a house with 20 rooms, do I need one in all the rooms?
You can get at room level. It doesn't have to be at device level. But for it to be really effective, because we are trying to track what exactly is taking power, it's device level. And it's for your high energy devices. You don't have to get for your bulb, for your fan, if you don't feel it's necessary. Yeah.
So how do you know that I'm wasting energy?
Okay, so the way we plan it to work is that you input an optimal amount of power that you plan to use for your device per day. But then that's just for starters. Because over time, Sabimeter would measure the amount of energy you're using, and it will be able to visualize that data. So you know when there's an abnormal spike or when there's an underuse.
Let me give you a real world scenario.
Okay.
I have, let's say, a refrigerator in my house. How do I know from Sabimeter that I'm wasting energy because of the refrigerator?
All right, sorry, due to the time. Now, the way we work is we use something called estimated data versus what the hardware is currently measuring. Now, you impute the rated value for your refrigerator, let's say 3 kilowatts, and then you estimate, you put the amount of hours you use per day. That's 1 hour. So you calculate this thing. Now, let's say that would be if you use it for 5 hours, that would be 15 kilowatts per day. Now, if it were to measure something more than that in a day, you would get a notification that, there's an high energy alert, and you definitely know if it was purposeful or if your freezer is actually misbehaving, and then you'll be able to regulate it.
So I think you've answered my question that I tell you how long I want to use it.
Exactly.
So I don't know electronics. I don't know how to measure. So how will I know that my device should?
Okay, so each electronic device comes with their rated power. There are also QR codes where you can scan to get the rated power. So these are also ways in which you can input it into the app.
Something interesting. So I think one of you mentioned that the USB sends JSON files. That means this device is over the internet.
Yes, definitely.
That means if I don't have internet, I can't use it. that also means that I can hack this device. Okay.
The obvious is a concern.
It's not a bad thing. It's fine. A lot of things are over the internet. I'm just asking. Okay. Can I also, if I can get the GSM, can I speak to the device connected?
Yes, we plan on including that.
So you plan to be able to control devices?
Yes.
Dangerous.
Everything is dangerous.
Fair enough.
Definitely.
Fair enough. But I think I'm good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a follow-up question regarding like internet connectivity. So my question is, so if I'm in-house, if I'm indoor as well, you said the way this works is over the Wi-Fi. So it takes, some JSON data and it sends it. So are you saying even if I'm inside the house, right, internet needs to be available as well for me to get like, updates regarding my power usage?
Yeah, so currently it's designed on Google Cloud, so you'd have to be internet connected for you to be able to make any changes. There is no local area connection.
Okay, I mean, between the device and my smartphone,
Yes,
right? There
yes,
is
your
Bluetooth,
smartphone
there's
has to
Wi-Fi,
be
there's all of that.
connected to the Wi-Fi network.
However, it doesn't mean that like you have to have your smartphone to turn it off. There's a manual toggle that you can turn off.
Yeah.
The device, yes, to turn off the device.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so
All right.
much, Sabimita.
Sorry, I would like to pitch myself to Alison. Sorry, you said you are an HNG product. I'm also an HNG I9 finalist. And this was my stage 8 product that got me into as a finalist. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
We are also medical students, so you might be wondering why we are interested in this. Medicine and surgery student, actually.
Wow.
Indeed. Our engineer is
Sell your
currently in
market.
Kano, actually.
Sell
He's an electrical engineering student and also an embedded systems engineer. So,
Wow, amazing.
thank you very much.
Because if you don't blow your trumpet, who will? I love it. Their name is truly Sabimita for no. It's not Sabimita for nothing. All right. Please let's give a round of applause to Team Mom Alive. Can we make the applause louder? All the way from Olabisi Onabanjo University from Shagamu. Over to you. Your time starts when you start speaking.
Excited to have you with us on this journey.
Please, can we pay attention to the screen? Thank you.
Imagine a plane full of pregnant women and the promise they carry crashing every day. Well, that is the equivalent of what happens in Nigeria. In 2020, around 82,000 women died preventable deaths while giving birth. That's 220 mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives lost every day for 3.
According to what RMD said, in 2020, 82,000 women died, but now it is way worse. According to the World Health Organization in 2023, 1 in 22 women have the lifetime risk of dying during pregnancy in Nigeria, as compared to 1 in 4,900 in developed countries. Do you know that Nigeria is presently ranked second for maternal mortality? 34% of maternal mortality comes from Nigeria. 1,047 deaths per 100,000 live births. Are you not concerned about these numbers? My team members and I are final year medical students and also a pharmacy student, which places us at a greater advantage to create a local solution for a global problem. So we present to you Mom Alive. I remember a situation last year when I saw a lady walked into, the clinic. She was pregnant, newlywed, 3 months from her wedding, got pregnant. And after 9 months, this lady died at childbirth. I saw the fracture of a family. I saw hopes being dashed. I saw a child who was going to grow without a mother's love. What can we do? We present to you Mom Alive. Mom Alive is an app that helps to reduce maternal mortality in Nigeria by using artificially intelligence-powered doctors and also professional doctors, and also the provision of a safe and affordable delivery kit. Now, what does our AI doctor do? It helps to identify and track high-risk pregnant women, helps with antenatal reminders, helps with immunization, ovulation tracker, and also a community for newly mothers or new mothers and existing mothers. Also, this delivery kit is going to help, it's safe and affordable because it contains the essential things that they need during delivery. Okay, next slide. Now we are helping to solve the Sustainable Developmental Goal 3. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now this is a way that the app looks like. There is a video afterwards. Next slide. Now, what stands us out from our competitors? We have competitors in the market, quite all right, but what stands us out is our ability to be able to identify and track high-risk pregnant women, because these are the people who are at the high risk of having preventable maternal death. So we are able to track them, and we are able to, identify them and put them at an hospital that is around them, which moves us to our business model. Our key partners are hospitals, maternity homes, policymakers, non-governmental organizations, because they are going to help us with customer acquisition. And that takes me to how we want to acquire our customers, through awareness, through the maternity homes, through hospitals, through personalized support, and through trainings from the non-governmental organization. Now, I must also add that we are not only looking at people who are internet-related or who are internet, they use internet, right? Also, we have for the uneducated mothers and mothers in the remote areas. They are able to use the voice translator. For people uneducated, there is a voice translator. There is one that helps them with voice and speech. And also, we are going to use USSD codes for those who are in the remote areas, because we've seen that this example for the Northerners, they use small phones and they are able to recharge their phones and they are able to use this code. So they are able to use the code to be able to get information. Next slide, please. This is a flow chart of what we do. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, I already spoke about this. So our key activities are research, customer support, marketing, and partnership management. Now, how do we intend to make money? Our financial projection, this is going to be in 2 ways. From the sales of the delivery kit, from subscriptions and partnerships. From the sales of the delivery kit, 1 unit of Mom Alive delivery kit is going to produce at 5,000 naira, sold at 6,000 naira, leaving us at the profit margin of 1,000 naira. Nigeria alone produces 7.9 million births per year, which increases, even with the way we say we are not giving birth, but it still increases every year. Now, with 5,000 of that, we are able to get about 500 million profits per year. With subscription, we have 2,000 naira per year, which helps us to make about 2 billion profit per year. And partnership fees from the hospitals, maternity homes, and from other organizations that we use in our platform, we have 50,000 per year, which leaves us as these values. Next slide. We must not but talk about risk and mitigations in the health system, because we know that this is a very, specialized area. Now, what are the risks of this thing? We have user data breaches. We have, incomplete or small data from people and not being able to give much information. So how do we intend to mitigate this risk? 1, we have consults with professional doctors who help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being so passionate about your solution, judges.
Hi. Yeah, this is a very interesting presentation you put together, but my personal opinion is that the problem is an actual problem, but the solution is not the solution to the problem. I feel like I've seen the numbers and they do make sense, but one thing that your slide didn't show is that majority of the causes of maternal death is the health system in Nigeria. It doesn't have to do with whether the mothers have a kid or not.
Yes.
So it's a failure from the medical system. And I'm not saying it as like a tech person. I've actually have been in one, rural areas, two, rural area medical facilities. I was in Uyo for about 3 years during my school, and I have been in hospitals. And I had a family member who had to give birth to twins and had complications, and to be taken out of the state. So, like, I can relate to all of these things, and it's not the fault of the victim.
Okay, thank you for that. That's why the primary, most of the causes of this maternal death are not actually, from what you said, they don't happen at that exact point while they are delivering the baby. Okay, they are actually problems that have started for a very long time prior to pregnancy and during pregnancy, and that's where our artificial intelligence comes in. Okay, the system is built in such a way to track while having conversation. We have written the code in such a way that when you're having conversation with our artificial intelligence doctor, we track all those high risks from their conversation. In medicine, there's something you need to know. 70% of diagnoses are actually through history, okay? And that is exactly what we are targeting. So 70% of the conversation you have with the AI doctor, we are able to get that, and it sends a response directly to the doctor, and we doctor can have access to. So you don't even need to know that you have a problem before we get across to you. From what you have from the conversation and from the red flag that was sent to us, we are able to pick those incidents or those risk factors. Then we are able to even contact you before you even know that you're having a problem.
Walk me through the USSD model. Let me give you a use case. I'm in my early 20s or late teens. I don't have any education.
Okay.
I'm barely surviving. I'm living with my parents or something. And then I have a phone that's not internet enabled. And then I hear from maybe some NYSC medical outreach in my area that I can use my USSD to talk to a doctor. Walk me through that flow.
What?
Walk me through the process.
Okay,
when
the process is very simple.
The code on my phone, what happens?
Yes, okay. We have actually linked the same artificial intelligence that you are going to, if you are going to use the app or the web access, we have used the same artificial intelligence to connect the USSD code. So it's still going to be the same information. You just dial the particular code. Okay, we are trying to use African Talk for the USS code stuff. So once you do that, you are still going to get, just by number one, the thing we just, as if you are dialing MTN and press this for this particular information. So depending on the information you actually need, that is what you get.
I'm a 19-year-old uneducated Lagos, Yoruba babe. I dial star XXX star # on my phone. What do I see? And from that point to the end of that comment, what happens?
Okay, yeah, for such cases, you don't, another thing we need to know is they have rural center, healthcare centers, okay? So they may not necessarily know how to use that. But these healthcare facilities in the rural areas, they know how to, okay? The only problem is they are not well equipped, you understand? So they can do on their behalf, okay? Probably when they come for their antenatals, so normally they come after 4 weeks or 2 weeks, depending on the complication. So the healthcare doctor in the, what's it called, rural facilities will help them do that. So we can get that information. So they don't need to know how to read, okay? And using our AI assistant with their voice, they can actually communicate, okay?
Sound. Thank you very much. I do agree with you that there's an actual problem here. There are people dying in Nigeria that don't need to die. No one should even die typically. But there's an infrastructure deficit, which is sort of what she's speaking about. But on the other hand, too, if people knew better, I guess that they would access better care. That's what you are sort of suggesting or proposing. I think that we should give more thought to the workability of the product. USSD, for example, today has a 20-second session time on USSD. Have you done a very long USSD interaction before? Even in Lagos, it will fail.
Okay.
You have to start again.
Yes.
I'm not saying that, I'm just suggesting.
Yes.
You know, I don't know a lot. I'm just suggesting.
I get you, sir.
That when you want to use USSD technology, because everyone is saying USSD as if it's the all in all. But the USSD session time is not so long, and the connectivity is not so great yet. It is getting better, but It's like she's saying, how much of information can you save on a Nokia 3310 if that's what I was using? How much can I see? How much? That means I need to know how to type well and type my message well back to you. And I cannot use voice to speak to your AI on USSD, for example. So there's an actual problem to be solved here. I think you have something good because you're making an app with an AI doctor that's speaking to, pregnancy and all of those kind of things. Fantastic. I think that as you keep on, experimenting, that you get more ways to solve the problem.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, sorry, to say something to what you just said. Okay, aside the USSD code, we are actually looking at something like a customer care service where they can actually talk in their own native language and yes. So we are trying to look at that also. So because we are trying to look at that USSD thing. Yes. Than USSD. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have a question about the AI part of things, the AI doctor, right? Yeah. So in your presentation, right, you mentioned a number of pre-existing conditions, right, that leads to maternal death, right? So my question is, do you think there is a global do you think there's a global can you globalize these conditions, right? Or do you think these conditions are sort of local to certain people, right? If the conditions that you think are leading to maternal death are global, right? Will you be using a pre-trained model that understands how to give the best recommendation and all? Will you be using a pre-trained model for it? Just walk me through the whole AI thing.
Thank you, sir. It's still the same set of human beings that are over there that we have here. Okay. The problem, in terms of body genetic makeup, you understand? I'm talking about the physiological. So, as a medical student, whether you are a human here or you're a human there, it's still the same process. Okay. Now, those challenges are being curbed over there, but here they are not. Okay, so the system that will work there in terms of how the conversation or the diagnosis are being done, we also work there. But here, the thing is, we don't have the facility, and that's what we are. The main reason why their own lesson is because they have this facility readily available, and that's what we don't have in this part of the world, and that's where we come in.
So my question, which is, will you be using a pre-trained model, right, or you'll be building your own?
Yes, we are using the two, okay? Both the general one and the pre-trained one, okay? So we fine-tune the system and tailor it towards our own problem here in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Mom Alive. So beautiful, so impressive. All right, so we have the final team for the Battlefield Challenge. Coming up right now on the stage, please let's give a round of applause to our final team of the day, the last but not the least. Please let's make welcome Team Topical Tests.
Thank you, everyone. So I must first thank SwitchCon for the opportunity of making me feel like a CEO. So before I start, I want to ask, how did you feel when you checked your first UTME results? Next slide. I don't know if you can relate, but I can tell you that 8 out of every 10 people in this room felt like this when they checked their first UTME results. And I can prove it to you. Because reports from JAMB actually shows that only 20% of the total number of students writing the UTME exam every year ever get to score beyond an average of 200 out of 400. With the remaining 80% of about 2.1 million students not being able to achieve their academic goals. I had my own share when I wrote JAMB 4 times. Please listen to me. We have it in Nigeria that many students invest so much into preparation for major exams, only to score so little, and failure rates are still high. But we have a solution to this. My name is Odole Abayomi, and here with me is Elijah Tayo. I'm the CEO of Topical Test. Topical Test is a special social and e-learning platform with interactive per-topic testing features that help students achieve their academic goals with a smile. Please, next slide. Next slide. So how does it work? Students on board to our platform, available in web page and mobile application. They then get to join our study community where they can connect with users across Africa, share knowledge, and get to study together. Students can also access our educational resource platform where we have pre-recorded videos, live sessions, and a vast resource of academic resource. And lastly, students will get to take tests per topic and get corrective feedback from educators. Next slide. Okay, the market is so large. We have about 30 million of Nigerians between the ages between 15 and 24. Over 20 million exams have been taken in this Nigeria per year. And the total amount that goes into this is well above $1.8 billion. We are able to access 50% of this market. Next slide. Our business model is very simple. Users get a premium access for access to pre-recorded videos, and this particularly is just to encourage students to get back to schooling, especially for secondary school users. We also offer $7 per month for a full version. This is just 7,000 naira. And for this version, students get access to our study community, they get access to our educational platform, and lastly, they get to take tests per topic with correct feedback. Next slide. What stands us apart from all other competitors, edtechs in Nigeria, local tutorial centers, is majorly our experience with students. We know exactly what works for students. And the first distinguishing feature is our full exam simulation with corrective feedback. 65% of major exams in Nigeria are aggregated past questions. And by presenting these questions to students per topic, over the years, they stand a better chance of scoring higher. Through our platform, a student taking WASI or WAEC, for instance, can come into our platform and have a mock exam available in multiple choice, essay, and also alternative to practical. This enables users have that confidence they have before their main exam, and also they get to learn best practices on how to prepare and answer questions. Also, peer-to-peer learning, as you know it, only is usually available when you attend an on-site school. On our platform, okay, thank you. On our platform, users get to interact with users across Africa, share knowledge, meet with mentors who could help them through their academic journey. Please, next slide. What we have done so far has been through the help of many organizations who have believed in us and have seen where we are going. We have raised over 150,000 in grants. Unilag Project ICM just reached out to us and will soon be incorporated. We have reached over 10,000 in free online tutorials, helping them achieve their academic goals. And we recently just launched topicaltest.com. This platform has over 100 undergraduate students studying veterinary medicine. They are early adopters because we actually wanted to learn as we build our startup. Of all our customers, we are also interacting with over 300 secondary school users. Of all our users, 100% are willing to refer us to friends and families, and 80% are actually willing to pay for our per-topic testing feature. Next slide. The next big step is to go into more major exams for Nigerian students. We want to reach out to more students, get more customers, and also provide more value. Please, next slide. We are actually in search for funding worth $50,000. This amount will go into quality content development, marketing, and product development. Thank you.
Our judges, I know that the solutions today have indeed turned your brain wheels upside down. We are grateful that we have exercised your intellectual stamina today. This is the last round of questions.
It's not really a question, it's just something to say. I already have a headache, sorry. The pricing model shows $7 a month.
Yes.
You are talking about students in Nigeria.
Oh, yes.
Please convert your pricing plan to Naira. Let's know what we are paying.
Okay, so dollar just increased. It's now
That's
above.
your problem.
Yeah.
Show us the money in Naira. Let's know if it's
so
2K.
it's about 7,000 actually now, above 7,000.
Write it with your full chest. Write the 7,000 with your full chest. Let us see.
Yes.
Personally, feel like that's too much for a month because I feel like first they are students, they don't have jobs, so that's a lot. Maybe try to make it a one-time payment or like a yearly payment. If you don't pass jam that year, you pay it again next year. But I feel like a month is too much. The other thing was I would like to see, I didn't see any prototype. I don't know if you shared it.
Because it's time.
So there's no...
They have the link. I don't know if they can just quickly run through.
But do you have it? If you have it, it's fine. I didn't see
we have a prototype.
Okay.
Yes. And
Then
we have also launched.
I would have liked to see, I saw that you have reached 10,000 students in JAM last year and this year. I would like to see numbers. Oh, these are 10 people that wrote JAM after taking our course. They had these scores. It would have been nice to see.
That.
Just saying. But yeah, good one.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Do you have the data of the outcome of your students?
We don't have complete research or like feedback from each, but it was just general free tutorials.
Are you trying to be a Khan Academy or a Udemy?
Okay, let me say a kind of blended. It's blended. It's not like the regular Khan Academy where you just come and learn. We are also including per topic testing feature. That's why our name is actually topical test. We are not just
I think Khan does that today.
At the moment.
Topics. Yes.
What we are doing is a full example. Nigerian, I want you to bring it local now. Like Khan would offer WAEC, for instance. Khan won't offer, and we are also doing this up to undergraduate level. Khan won't do for each university, each course.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Topical Test. A lot of passion, grit, hard work, and intellectual effort has been put into all of these 10 ideas that we've all just enjoyed in a few minutes. Please, let's give a resounding applause. A resounding applause to the 10 teams that have presented their amazing ideas on the Battlefield Challenge this afternoon. Thank you so much for, just stepping out in bravery and boldness and doing something amazing. We have run out of time, and I don't want to keep us any minute longer. So we're just going to proceed into the collation of the results. I don't know if we were able to vote during the viewer's choice. If we were able to vote. Was anybody able to vote? Did you vote for teams that had presented while they were presenting? I hope you were not voting for your friends. Okay. All right, so we're just going to give the judges a few minutes to do that. I wanted to do a quick exercise, but I think it's going to take some time, and we're really, really running out of time. But I know that a majority of, I guess I can just mention this while the judges are collating their numbers. First of all, this is the link, I think I already said that earlier, for the Viewers' People's Choice Awards or Viewers' Choice Awards, just for other teams that the judges may not select as the winners. But something that Temidayo mentioned, and a lot of things were mentioned, is finding a problem and finding a solution that matches that problem. And a lot of the solutions that we witnessed here today have been derived from the SDG goals, right? Different goals, 5, there was goals 13, 3, education, all of that. Very cool ideas. But have you had a good time so far? Was SwitchCon 2023 exactly what you expected or more than what you expected? More. I love it. I love it. It has indeed been a day of fun, of learnings, of, entertainment as well. And I'm just using this time to stall for our judges so that they can collate their answers and so that we can crown the winners of the Battlefield Challenge at the SwitchCon 2023. But in the meantime, I'll please urge us to follow us on social media at SwitchCon.io on Instagram and across all social media platforms. So please follow us so that you can stay tuned, because we're going to have another conference, SwitchCon 2.0. We have so much in store, and because of time, we may not be able to go into the details of that, but we have new products that we're going to launch, new ways to serve you, tech enthusiasts and students that are looking to advance their tech careers as well. So please follow us at switchcon.io on Instagram and across all social media platforms so that you are aware of all the news once it is out. All right, as the casualties are still collating results, I would like to say a very big thank you to our partners that we were giving shout outs to earlier, to We Create. A round of applause for We Create, to Wailere Academy. I'm going to be calling them so that we can applaud them while the judges give us their results. To Google for Startups, please a round of applause for Google for Startups one more time. To Your Notify. A round of applause to Solace Swag. Please, a round of applause for them as well. And I'd like to appreciate all our volunteers that have taken out time to partner with us to make this dream a reality. Please, a round of applause for all of our volunteers. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your effort. We celebrate you as well. And of course, a round of applause to yourselves for taking out time for this Saturday. You spent your entire day with us at SwitchCon. Please, a round of applause to yourselves. You deserve it so much. Thank you. I'm sure that it was worth your time. Reminders. Please don't forget to take these things that you have learned today. Use the hashtag SwitchCon2023, hashtag TheIgnition23, and share across all your social media platforms and let the world know that you were here. Yes, these are some of our other partners, Hives Natural, Comfort Treats. Please, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please reach out to them if you need any of their products or their services. I'd like to say a very big thank you also to our speakers, our panelists, and our judges. Even as they collate the results, we have used their brains this throughout today to just, they have spent a lot of intellectual stamina just, reviewing these ideas. Please, a round of applause to our speakers, to our judges. Is this how you want them to clap for you when they're calling your name? Okay. Thank you. All right, so I want to give a big shout out to those October celebrants. We have someone special on the team. Her birthday was yesterday. Her name is Galia. And if you're an October celebrant in the house, we have a little cake for you. So while the judges are collating the results, I don't know if we want to cut the cake here. We can cut the cake here. All right, so do you want to? All right, so if you're an October celebrant, is there any October celebrants in the house? Either your birthday has passed or it's coming up later in the month. Do we have any October celebrants? All right, October celebrants in the house, please wave at me. No October celebrant. Oh, okay. Happy birthday to you. All right, so Galia, wherever you are in the hall, if you can hear us, we have a cake for you to wish you a very happy birthday. Please, Galia, step forward. Where is she? I know she's probably behind the scenes sorting things out. But a happy birthday to you, Galia. We have a sweet cake for you. And very quickly, please, we've opened the link for the Brewers' Choice Awards. So for 2 minutes, you can open the link bit.ly/SwitchConVCA, bit.ly/SwitchConVCA. For 2 minutes, the link is open now for viewers to make their own submissions. So you have 2 minutes to do that. Please do that shortly. Don't share the link to your WhatsApp groups and to your family members. Just do it in 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, Rapture will come and the link is closed. All right. So while we are doing that, I don't know how to sing. So who has a beautiful singing voice? Happy birthday, Galia. Happy birthday. DJ, help me out now. October Salima, you can come forward.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Please, can I have photographers come and take a picture? Just to give you context into who Galia is, she has been one of the driving forces behind SwitchCon. Sure, she's giving me every single information that I have needed to be able to speak and deliver excellently on this stage. So big shout out to you, Galia. Thank you for all the work that you do at SwitchCon. We appreciate you and we love you. Happy birthday. Welcome to your best year yet.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I just never understood how a man who died for good could not have a David Wood. He said, aside for his recognition, because it could never be.
So if you still stick around, you might just have a slice of the cake. Our panel of judges, are we ready with the results? Okay, we need a few more minutes. Okay, all right. All right, so as the judges are collating the results, I would just like to sell my own market because in this life, you never know who needs your service. My name is Deborah Oguike. I like to be called Debbie the Media Girl. I'm a professional event host and a content creator. So if you need my services, please follow me at Deborah Oguike on Instagram and on Twitter, Deborah Oguike _ Deborah Oguike, Debbie the Media Girl. If you check Debbie the Media Girl, you find her. You won't miss her. You miss her. So did I do a great job today? Do you have a great time? Wow. Is that cricket? Did I do a good job? Thank you so much. I know you don't have a choice but to say yes, but see, thank you. All right. Okay, are you ready now? All right, so remember how the judges gave you very outstanding feedback with your products, how you can improve. And if you're unable to, maybe take advantage of that, you can still reach out to them after this event. They have given you access to their LinkedIn, so you actually reach out to them. If their LinkedIn is locked, just put a message, I'm the one, no, I'm team this team. My idea was like this, and you told me that I should do this. Please answer me so that you can. Don't just send hello, hi, on social media, your message will hang. I'm serious, so people are looking at me. Don't you see other people that will just send you, hello. It doesn't work like that. Very busy people, but please reach out to them on LinkedIn so that they can give you feedback. They can help you conceptualize your idea even more. I'm really trying to speed so that I'm sure that we're covering every ground and we can bring this to a close. I think I already mentioned that you should please follow us at switchcon.io. I'll say one more time, switchcon.io. Follow us across all social media platforms and stay tuned to all the updates that we'll be sharing in the coming weeks. All right. SwitchCon 2023, can you make some noise? This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. I'd like to say to all the teams that there's no loser. Remember what we said? There are no losers, only learners. There are no losers, only learners. Even the winners are also learners. So please don't take this as a failure. Take this as a learning curve so that you can improve on your idea and on yourself, even as you go into the world to produce and innovate for impact. You see the amount of stress you are giving the judges, it means that you people are smart. It means you're intelligent. See their wheels, their brain, they are really thinking. It's tough. It's a tough one. I do not envy them at all. I'm so happy to be the host. Never been happier.
But I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. So that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and
All right. I think I want all the teams to step forward and be on stage so that we can celebrate you and see you. So please, all the 10 teams, if you all can't stand on the stage, you can have your representatives, but I would really like for us to display ourselves as we announce the winners of the Battlefield Challenge SwitchCon 2023. Please make some noise for our teams. All my winners, step forward, step forward, step forward.
thinking out the box from where I stay. Am I wrong? Saying that I choose another way. I ain't trying to do what everybody else doing. Just cause everybody.
Okay, so while the results are collected, Temina, please can you climb up stage so that we can take pictures with the teams? Photographer, please. Oh, okay. Please, can we take a picture with the team? This presidential handshake, I hope we're capturing it. Please, I want to snap with my guys.
That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Trying to reach the place that I can't see. Am I tripping for having a vision?
SwitchCon! SwitchCon!
I'ma be on top of the world.
Yes, please come up stage.
Do what you decide. Don't control your life. That's just how I feel.
This is the moment we have been waiting for. You can take pictures before we announce the winner. I hope the camera is capturing every single person. All right, the representative of the panel of judges, who is announcing it? Okay, our lady of the panel.
It's like you set up. What? That's not, can I come down? Okay. This was a very difficult decision, I'm not gonna lie, because they're all very great entries. Very amazing solutions. So please put your hands together for yourselves first. You guys have done amazing work, regardless of what the results say. I saw a lot of work. You could see that somebody put effort. It was not rushed. It was not middle of night idea. You thought about it. You put in your work over months. I could see dedicated time. I could see dedicated effort. So well done. Regardless of what these results say, all of you are winners. All of you have tendency and potentials to build the next Facebook, the next Meta, the next Money Point. So put your hands together for yourselves again. That's what I said. I said what I said. Okay, so I think I'm going to start from the other part. What about the other ones? Okay, so I think we should do that before. So the first award would be for social impact. And I'm not going to go straight to the point because I see what I want to say. So the award for social impact goes to Mom Alive. Put your hands together for them. This is okay, I'm just gonna stand over here. So side notes, I think you guys have an amazing idea. I like that you guys are professionals and you know your onions. I like that you're also all in the medical space. So I just personally think that you need to just go back to the drawing board and, you know, we talked about all of that. If you need any help, feel free to message any of us on LinkedIn. But I really like what you guys have, and it's very innovative. So, well done. Clap for them now. It's easy. It's easy. Well done. Congratulations again. Now, the award for this innovative idea. Drum rolls, please. Goes to Evolution. Please be clapping for them. Just be clapping for them. Just be clapping, please.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You could beat the world, you could beat the war, you can talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock.
All right, I think just to add, this was a very tough one to select the winner for this category. Just to mention, keep. I think you have something very brilliant, because there are everyday people that have waste and don't know what to do with it, and they will just litter it. But yeah, you're also winners too. Just in your mind, you are joint winners there for the innovation on your product, making it an open market, because there are products like yours too, but how you are trying to approach it too is very brilliant. Just not to mention that, to commend you. You have a very innovative solution. Well done. Thank you.
Okay. Now, for the final award for the best UX idea, this goes to Alpha I. So you can shout. Say you want to bust my eardrum. Well done again. Now to what we've all been waiting for since morning, that we sit down here. Okay.
All right, my ladies and gentlemen, the final category before the winner category is the Viewers' Choice Awards. Who was the crowd favorite? We find out in 3, 2, 1. Give it up for Team Alpha I. Wow.
Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, greatest. You can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You could beat the world. You could beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up. You can beat the clock. You can move a mountain. You can break.
I don't like you people. This audience is biased. Okay. So we're going to start from the second position just because. I'm just dramatic. Second position. This was very difficult. So it took a while to calculate and divide. So this is properly thought through. Please, there's no ojoro. It was clear. We counted everything there. You saw us sit down. Second position goes to Blue Room Care. No. It's first for now. Second position is first for now. Explainer.
Yeah, you can be the greatest. You can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world. You can beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up. You can beat the clock. You can move a mountain. You can break rocks. You can be a master. Don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know your name. Yeah.
Thank you.
You can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile. You could be the hero. You can get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke. Yeah, do it for your people. Do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try? Do it for your country. Do it for your name.
DJ, please let me reduce the volume. Announcement. Something has gone up. So we have something that we now want to call a Judges Award. Since people are their own. We have a Judges Award. This award will include a 3 weeks mentorship, close up with all of us. We will help to flesh your idea from ideation to wherever you want to get it to. And we already have a winner for this award. What is it? The winner of the Judges Award goes to Keep Clean. So you have to. How do you want to do it? Congratulations. Thank you. Now, The third position, second runner of third position, goes to Varsity Edge.
You'll never see what's hiding out deep down. Yeah, I know, I've heard that to let your feelings show is the only way to make friendships grow, but I'm too afraid now. Yeah, I put my arm around, show you how strong I am. I put my arm around, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable.
All right. I need y'all to help me complete these quotes. Democracy forward. I guess that the winner is clear for everybody to. The winner is clear for everybody to. For everybody to what? Do we know the winner? Who is the winner? Put your hands together for Alpha I.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up. Stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest to that sun.